What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? It's your boy Seattle Rick 206, aka that boy Rick, aka they call him Slick, aka Hype Man Rick 206, aka 2D Hydroplane Game Rick. We back with another Hydro 2D session, y'all. Sit back, relax, enjoy the ride. Please hit the like, share, and subscribe. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Please like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate y'all. The game is growing. Go download it now. www.h1unlimited.com. Go download the 2D Hydro game right now for free. We will see y'all in a minute.
Now, well, it's a dead heat coming out. J. Michael Kelly in the U9. Lynx presents, Lynx Healthcare presents Miss Tri-Cities. Then it's Dave Villwalk in the U40 to Beacon Plumbing. Kelly, silver with white and orange trim. Villwalk into Beacon Plumbing, predominantly orange, trimmed in black. He's the second boat away. Then it is the Joker's Casino, the U11 with Jamie Nielsen. The lid is down on Jeff Bernard on the black and gold. Goodman Real Estate, 4 boats in Heat 1. It's the 2022 race. You got a great shot over there, Mr. Maselli. Boat's right in front of you.
Oh, that I do as they come out, and you can just see, again, as soon as you start to hear those turbines kick on, everybody stops what they're doing. They look out onto the water, and now we've got a good group of boats going in a row, and now it looks like the last one finally now pulling away from the pits over by you guys.
Any clarification on the points, how this is all going to break down, since we've gone through a couple of different formulas as to how we're going to do the racing? How are the points going to break down? Anybody got a beat on that?
I do not have an official beat on that, but I'll bet tonight's dinner we're doing this just as normal, because in this format, every boat is going to run 4 times. That's the way they do it in the Gold Cup format, and originally, had we had more boats, we were going to run a basic Gold Cup format. Everybody would run twice. I'm sure this is full points.
Jamie Nielsen has cut across the Esco Electric DMC to the front stretch, following J. Michael Kelly across the Mosteller start-finish line. And then you have Dave Villwalk on the outside in the bright orange, black, yellow trim, Beacon Plumbing.
Earlier today, had a couple of boats doing some testing. It looked like they were trying to score up on a buoy to see if they could hit that start-finish line. It'll be interesting to see this first heat if somebody's got the proper formula to hit that start-finish line at full speed and make it a clean start.
Just a reminder, all swimmers and waders, we need you out of the water, up on the shoreline. All spectators out of the river and up on the shoreline. Clock now just inside 3 minutes to the start of Heat 1. And Jamie Nielsen cut across the infield to the backstretch through the Esco Electric infield.
Keep an eye on those 2 boats going up the backstretch. Keep an eye on JMK and Dave Villwalk. Mike is staying tight to the buoy row. He is on the inside, 2:35 till the starts. I don't think either of those boats, in fact, any of the 3 of them up there, I don't think anybody's going to cut the race course. Nobody wants to be at start-finish with 2 minutes. Now, here goes Jeff. He's going to cut the course across the bottom end, and we'll see what he does. Watch him. He could conceivably cut the top end of the race course. We'll see what he does coming up on 2:10 right now.
So Jamie Nielsen close to the buoy line at the exit pin of our White's Finished Furniture turn number 4.
Can he get around at another 2 minutes?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's about right at that 80-mile-an-hour mark.
So he's trying to keep lane 1.
But J. Michael Kelly's behind him, also in that same lane. So something will have to give here. Dave Villwalk is on the outside, but it looks like he might edge in a little bit. I wonder where he's going to end up. And just off the exit pin now of White's Finished Furniture Hardwoods turn 4 is Bernard in the Goodman Real Estate 91.
And Dave is doing some S-turns, coming down the front straightaway to scruff off a little bit of time. Jamie is down here at 1:26, my mark. You don't want to be here before 1:30, so it's going to be a little tight for Jamie. He cannot go below 80 miles an hour. So here comes Kelly. He is behind in the corner, still sitting in lane 1, but Nielsen
Goodman boat with Bernard across the Esco Electric DMZ.
Oh, he's early. He's early. 1:07.
That's a big move. Remember, we saw some of those 80-mile-an-hour penalties happen in Guntersville, Brad.
We sure did, and that's a gutsy move. There is still 50-plus seconds before the start, and Jeff's already up at the top end. I was thinking perhaps Jamie Nielsen was a little on the early side, but Jeff's...
I started at Purdue Global because it was really easy to try to balance classes, writing papers, being a mom, being a full-time employee. I could still balance my
way out in front of him, 43 seconds.
Well, and remember, guys, in the E350s yesterday, we had some issues with timing as well, and a lot of the crews that were involved in the races we saw with them yesterday.
Doesn't look like he's going 80 miles an hour to me.
It's a tough one, isn't it? He's just inside 30 seconds.
See if he goes way wide.
He's going extremely wide now at the top end in lane number 3. Maybe he's cut it back to the inside. We're at 20 seconds.
Watch Villwock and Kelly.
This is going to be close.
Yeah, so in lane number 1, you've got Bernard in the 91. Lane number 2,
10 seconds.
Nielsen. Lane number 3 is going to be J. Michael Kelly. Lane number 4 will be Dave Villwock.
He's early.
He's early. He jumped the gun by 3 seconds. 2-1 mark, and it looks like a clean start. And it's J. Michael Kelly leading as they come down the front stretch. He's in lane number 3.
Bernard's going to get down here first, but you guys called him across the line. That is J. Michael Kelly. He's got almost a full rooster tail on Villwock, and then it's back to Nielsen in fourth.
Here now as they round Tire Factory turn number 2. As you mentioned there, Villwock again leading right now, but it'll be interesting to see how this plays out as we've got now coming up on the outside, that orange and black of the Miss Beacon Plumbing trying to close some ground.
Yeah, Dave Villwock is trying to run down J. Michael Kelly, but on the backstretch, J. Michael Kelly's got the boat speed. Your race leader out on the course is Bernard in the Goodman Real Estate 91, the black and gold boat, but he was early across the start-finish line. The review is underway upstairs officially.
Official
we'll
jump.
More news.
He jumped it. That's an official from the H1.
So the 91, we counted him as good 3 seconds early at the start-finish line, just out of shape after cutting through the Esco Electric infield. He will cross start-finish line first at the end of lap number 1. J. Michael Kelly in second place, the Miss Tri-Cities.
148.46 for the first lap.
The third place boat is Dave Villwock, but he's second because of the penalty for going early for the Goodman Real Estate 91. Jamie Nielsen has not been able to find good boat speed, and he is the trailing boat heading down into All Doors Incorporated turn number 1.
Yeah, now here at Tire Factory turn number 2, same situation. We do seem to see that orange and black boat closing a little bit of ground now. We mentioned Bernard with that early start. Not so much incentive perhaps to keep going, but to be determined now as they work along the Griggs backstretch towards Sun Pacific Energy turn 3.
J. Michael Kelly is going to go ahead and pass Bernard in lane number 2 and head around the top end of the course. Shell Sun Pacific Energy turn number 3 into White's Finished Furniture turn number 4. And our Buffalo Brothers friends in turn 4. Pretty good racing action. J. Michael Kelly is going to claim the lead away from Bernard as they come across the start-finish line, and the white flag is out. One more lap to go, and it does not look like Dave Villwock will have enough boat speed or enough real estate to challenge. J. Michael Kelly getting a little bit out of shape coming down the front stretch into All Doors turn number 1.
Yeah, he's getting down here. He's to the entrance pin right now. He's got almost 2 rooster tails on Dave Villwock. Dave Villwock is running third on the water. He is in second place here.
Yeah, again, at this point, it does seem like it's J. Michael Kelly's to lose, but stranger things have happened. He's got about a rooster tail, maybe a rooster tail and a half lead.
A little bit of rough water for the Goodman Real Estate 91 and Jeff Bernard heading through a sloppy turn number 2. Back up the back stretch, it is a 2 rooster tail lead for your race leader. That's J. Michael Kelly. Lynx Healthcare presents Miss Tri-Cities. Into Sun Pacific Energy, Shell Sun Market turn number 3 to the exit pin of White's Finished Furniture turn number 4 and onto the front stretch. Checkered flag is out. Dave Villwock is going to pass up Bernard in turn number 4, but swings way out wide. Bernard may be able to hold him off on the front stretch. Across the start finish line, checkered flag is out. J. Michael Kelly gets heat number 1 victory. Second place will go to Dave Villwock in the Miss Beacon Plumbing. Third place will be Jamie Nielsen. And again, the Goodman Real Estate boat in the 91, a little bit early across the start for Jeff Bernard.
A good boat ride.
Unfortunate series of events for Bernard, cutting across the...
It was a bold move.
The DMZ, the Esco Electric DMZ, but if he would have continued, he would have been able to stay clean and maybe have good momentum at start finish. That's
Brad, you were mentioning down by where you are in the pits, usually about a 90-second marker when they score up in front of you. Is that well known amongst all of the drivers, given the nature of this course and how many times the drivers have been on this course of the Tri-Cities?
Well, that's Brad Luce's timing marks, and you just don't want to be down here at $1:30, and you don't want to be at the start-finish line in 2 minutes. Do the math. You go 80 miles an hour for 2 minutes. You go 2 2/3 miles, and it's a 2.5-mile course. So I was surprised to see Jeff jump over there, and you saw that's called overpaying for an inside lane. You pay the price sometimes, and it cost him. It cost him basically third place points, and he's going to get fourth place points. I'm assuming he is. I'm headed down to the pit area. I'm assuming Jeff is up at the top end, finishing a fourth lap.
just came across the Mosteller Memorial start-finish line.
You should be able to see him now.
Well, I'm getting a ride down to the dock.
So.
On Christmas Day, we were in the hospital. It was her first Christmas. It was our first Christmas being parents. I didn't know a lot about brain tumors, and what I had heard wasn't good.
And then still up at the top end of the course, just at the exit pin of turn number 4 is Dave Villwock in the 40 Beacon Plumbing.
Kind of looks like maybe Mike, JMK, in that Miss Tri-Cities presented by Lynx Healthcare. Like they had some timing marks they wanted to hit, but to hit the timing marks, he had to come blow up to the top end first. And if that's the case, then he had the opportunity to get right on him. Right in front of you, Derek, J. Michael Kelly on the inside. Here comes Jimmy Shane in the home street.
Obviously a huge story for them, but a little further on up the backstretch. Huge, obviously, for Miss Jokers Casino and Nielsen Company. They didn't get to really do a whole lot yesterday. Crews were hard at work, looking to redeem themselves.
Villwock jumps through the ESCO Electric infield to the backstretch. Go ahead, Derek.
Just talking a bit about Nielsen and how that team now will have to redeem themselves from that disqualification that they had earlier on in the first heat. It's good to be out on the water, of course. They didn't get out here yesterday, but to me, that's the big redemption arc here in this race.
2 minutes and 15 seconds. Nielsen at the top end of the course at the apex between 3 and 4.
Does it look like they're going 80 miles an hour?
Well, that's a good point.
I like the timing on this a whole lot better.
Dave Villwock jumps through the ESCO Electric infield, and he'll jump right behind Jamie Nielsen.
And then he'll float
and
down
then
wide.
come way out wide.
Wow.
That is different.
Yeah. You thought he was going to come across the infield there and tie himself into an inside lane. No, he went right in front of everybody and said, I'm going all the way to the outside.
We've got some slow boats coming down the front stretch. Nielsen in lane 1. Kelly lane 2.
1 minute,
Shane
30
in
seconds.
lane 3.
90
Villwock
seconds
in
mark.
lane 4 on the outside. As they head to All Doors Incorporated, turn number 1 at 1:20.
Yeah, I think that's much better this time for Jamie Nielsen. And Dave clearly wanted to be on the outside. He was a little worried about his timing, but he wanted to get to the outside. He found a way to do it. He did. Derek, they're right in front of you. You got all 4 at a minute 5.
Yeah, that we did. It does look like Nielsen's going to stick to that lane 1 on the inside, hugging real close to the turnman. Villwock content to be outside, and it looks like Miss Tri-City is going to be that number 3 spot with J. Michael Kelly, and then, or in lane 2 rather, and then lane 3 coming down the backstretch is Jimmy Shane in that bright blue Miss Home Street U1 boat.
Well, this is eerily similar to the Dash for Cash in that you have Villwock on the outside and Jimmy Shane just inside of him in lane number 3. Clock at 37 seconds to the start of heat 2. Nielsen, lane number 1. In the 11, Jokers Casino, lane number 2. The 9, Lynx Healthcare presents Miss Tri-Cities with J. Michael Kelly. Lane number 3, Home Street, the 1, Miss Madison. And Jimmy Shane, and on the outside, the U40, Beacon Plumbing with Dave Villwock.
It's a testament to the speed of these amazing machines. They just don't look like they're going at least 80 miles an hour, and they are. He's putting his foot into it. Here we go.
8 seconds. 5 seconds as they come down the front stretch.
Shane's got the boat speed. Good
And
start.
It's a clean start, and it's going to be Jimmy Shane leading in lane number 3 as they come down the front stretch. But look at Villwock on the outside. He's challenging. J. Michael Kelly's got good boat speed in lane number 2. It's a good start.
Wow, Jimmy Shane with a line. Oh, there goes Davey.
Oh! Oh! Dave Villwalk and a blowover. All Doors Incorporated, turn number 1. Up in the air, did a complete 360 and landed right side up.
Dave was really flying the boat coming down the front straightaway. The boat picked up on him, and when he got into the corner, just as he started to set up for it, the right side of the boat picked up. The lid has been popped open. Man, the fans are going nuts. Big cheers here as the lid goes up on the U40. We'll keep our thoughts with Mr. Villwalk, but that was pretty dramatic. The right side of the boat picked up, and when you go into the corner like that and expose that right side, and if you pick up the right side of it, you don't have to get very high before the air just decides where you're going to go, and you're done with it.
Very dramatic.
Dave is getting himself out of the boat. Now he is standing on the deck.
Obviously a good sign.
That's a great sign.
Wow. And that corner, this number 1 turn here, number 2 turn here on the Columbia River, has historically not been nice to Dave Villwalk. Good to see him standing on the deck of the boat.
Was it 98?
7.
97?
97.
He had the crash in the turn number 2 area?
It happened right in front of me in 1997 in turn 2.
Yeah, that was a dramatic event. But this is a different one. And I'm just going to throw this out there because I know Dave. I know what type of a competitor he is. There's part of him right now that is saying, I need to take a look at the boat, get me in. We're not done with this thing yet.
Yeah, well, we've seen it before.
We have seen it before. There has been a thing called a flip and win. And this format would play right into that, but I think we've got the cart way out in front of the horse on this. We look at the back of the boat, the wing and the fairings are gone, but trust me, that is all cosmetic.
Yeah, and it looks like some of the crews and one of the rescue sleds may be headed to pick up some of the pieces. Yep, they're pulling it on board now.
Yeah, there was one piece that even before the spray went back down and settled back into the Columbia, there was one piece of the boat. I don't remember it being terribly large, but there was one visible piece that we could see. We had 117. Then it's going to be Jamie Nielsen in the Joker's Casino. He's going to slot himself into lane number 2. Jimmy Shane's going to wind this blue and white boat up hard on the outside. Derek, he's starting to put the foot down a little bit, but we're coming up on 1 minute to the start of Heat 2.
J. Michael Kelly just coming off the exit pin of turn number 2, Tire Factory turn number 2 in lane number 1. Then you've got Jamie Nielsen in lane 2 on the outside. The home street with Jimmy Shane in lane number 3 as they
45 seconds. 45 seconds.
And they are directly across from the start-finish line here at the Brunsman's Memorial Barge. It's the parade lap. Do they have any indication in the cockpit on that 80-mile-an-hour situation too, Brad?
Yes, they do.
All right, so they're well aware of that when it does occur. Back up to the top end of the course into Sun Pacific Energy Shell Sun Market turn number 3. J. Michael Kelly to the apex.
15 seconds, Mark, 15.
That's the 9. Lynx Healthcare presents Miss Tri-Cities lane number 2. Miss Joker's Casino with Jamie Nielsen lane 3. Miss Madison
5.
Home Street
4
1 with Jimmy Shane
3, 2, 1. Mark.
It is a perfectly clean start from our vantage point. On the outside, that's where you find the boat speed. But look at Jamie Nielsen. He's in the tunnel. He's going to try to take second place away from J. Michael Kelly.
Yeah, but he's not going to be able to do it. When they get down there, they're absolutely dead even. And I'll tell you what, Jimmy Shane's way on the outside, Derek.
Don't know what happened to Derek in Tire Factory turn number 2, but we'll take over from here as they get to the exit pin. Jamie Nielsen really backed out on the throttle. Looks like he may have lost some power heading into Tire Factory turn number 2. So on the backstretch, you've got Shane in the lead on the outside. J. Michael Kelly, he's about 3 boat lengths back as they come up that backstretch, the Griggs Ace Hardware backstretch, and dive into Sun Market turn number 3. Both boats into the turn to the apex with Rattlesnake Mountain. A little bit hazy this afternoon in the backdrop. They get to the exit pin of White's Furniture and Hardwoods, turn number 4. They are deck to deck. Jimmy Shane is going to squirt forward and take the lead away as they come to the start-finish line and across at 159.061 miles per hour. It's Jimmy Shane with the lead in the home street, heading into All Doors Incorporated, turn number 1.
Home street, Jimmy Shane rocks the Swansons to the entrance pin of the corner, but Kelly's staying right with it on the inside, Derek.
So it's on the inside. J. Michael Kelly with the short course around, and he was able to reel in Jimmy Shane just a little bit, but Shane starts to pull away on the backstretch. This is where you really watch on the Griggs backstretch to see which boat has the power. And right now it's Jimmy Shane in the home street, and he is starting to pull away, almost a full rooster tail lead. Now, J. Michael Kelly has the opportunity to cut into that lead as they head into Shell Sun Market turn number 3. To the apex. J. Mike with a really nice turn on the inside, hugging the buoy line, but Jimmy Shane with boat speed on the outside, and he's going to be impossible to catch in that one home street as they come across the Mosteller start-finish line. It's a half a rooster tail lead for Jimmy Shane coming down the front stretch.
Yeah, it is Jimmy Shane, and he is showing some incredible speed, and he's also letting J. Michael Kelly know, I let you get on the inside of me, and you still can't run with me. Home street back, Jimmy Shane.
Easily a rooster tail length lead now. Sorry guys about that delay. We're back in action here at turn number 2. Generator ran out of fuel, but we're good. So it is that home street boat again, a rooster tail length lead over Miss Tri-Cities and J. Michael Kelly now as they enter the Griggs backstretch.
Yeah, and the white flag out on the course for Jimmy Shane in Heat 2 in the Miss Madison.
Jimmy Shane's first lap of 159 miles an hour. I believe that's going to be another course record in a heat qualifier, if I'm not mistaken. So it's the cream of the field right now for Jimmy Shane. Just an incredible boat ride. He's bringing it home, Mike.
And off the exit pin, a White's Finish Furniture and Hardwoods turn number 4. Jimmy Shane onto the front stretch. Checkered flag is out. Home Street gets the victory with Jimmy Shane in the Miss Madison. Second place, J. Michael Kelly in the Lynx Healthcare presents Miss Tri-Cities the 9. Jamie Nielsen just getting into turn number 3, the Shell Sun Market turn to the apex, and now to turn number 4. Hello to
Street has been on a first name basis with those outside course markers.
Yep.
Derek, he was right up against him.
Oh yeah, and that continues to be the case. Hey, he's found where he likes out on the course, and it seems to be working for him. I think one of the more interesting situations here that we'll have to be watching for with Jamie Nielsen and, of course, the U91 Goodman Real Estate boat as well is those timing on those starts, and I think both actually were disqualified from some heats yesterday for falling under 80 miles per hour in these earlier rounds in this race before the race.
exactly.
Well, I can tell you right now, those two guys coming down the front straightaway are in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, they went way out wide at the exit pin of White's Finished Furniture and Hardwood's turn number 4 to scruff off a little bit more speed. They're just across start-finish line now.
Jamie Niemel. He's running, he's doing the S curves.
He's going to jump. No, he's going to just kind of do that S move, that snake move down that straightaway to
Obviously,
stay above 80 if he can, and be in the right position if he can.
when you're on the outside like Jimmy Shane is prone to do, obviously you're covering more area, but when you're diving into turn 1, there's just not that much water there. What's the advantage of staying outside with that boat speed, Brad?
Clean water. Clean water's the big one there. If you've got enough boat speed to field to drive around everybody, if you can get clean water out there, then you can go for it. Coming up on 1 minute, I think they're going to be okay. Also looks like Bernard's going to be on the outside, and this time Jimmy Shane will tuck in the center position unless he moves out now. Watch him, Derek, and I think he just did.
He did. He just jumped the wake. He's now moved to that outside lane, staying right where he likes, as you mentioned, Brad, that cleaner water.
Well, that's where he won yesterday, lane number 3. So on the inside, the 11 Jokers Casino with Jamie Nielsen. Lane number 2 will be the Goodman Real Estate 91 Miss Madison with Jeff Bernard. The other Miss Madison boat, the 1 Home Street with Jimmy Shane in lane number 3 as they head up the Griggs Ace Hardware backstretch. Nielsen in 1, Bernard in 2, Shane in 3. Countdown is on. 18 seconds to the start of Heat 3 as they come to the apex and now around the exit pin of turn number 4 with our Buffalo Brothers friends in the camp up at turn number 4. Hitting the throttle now. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark. Ooh,
Good
it's
start.
a really clean start.
Good
That
start.
was really close for all the boats. The boat speed note's on the outside. Jamie Nielsen's on the inside track. He'll get down there first, but look at the outside boat, the Home Street. It's a clean start, by the way. It's a good start.
Absolutely, it was a good start. Down to the lower corner was Bernard that got out here first with lane position, Derek.
Yeah, phenomenal start and phenomenal turns here as now Bernard looks like he was taking the lead out of that turn 2, but along the Griggs backstretch here, that Home Street boat, Jimmy Shane, we know he's quick, and he looks to be now pulling ahead.
Yeah, but watch Bernard in lane number 2. He's going to challenge Jimmy Shane as they come up the Griggs Ace Hardware backstretch. They'll be diving into Sun Pacific Energy, Shell Sun Market, turn number 3, and it's Bernard with the lead, at least for now. Jamie Nielsen's in lane number 1. He'll gain a little ground on that inside lane as they come to the exit pin of turn number 4. It's the Goodman Real Estate boat with the lead by about 4 boat lengths over Jimmy Shane. Nielsen falling back a little bit in third place now, about a half rooster tail back of the leaders. Now it's Shane challenging on the outside in the home street. He's going to pass Bernard as they head into All Doors Incorporated, turn number 1.
Madison Racing running 1-2, just not sure which one's first. It would be the Goodman Real Estate 91 with Jeff Bernard.
Oh, and they are close, but Jimmy Shane dances those sponsons a little bit in that turn. He lost a little bit. He'll have to make it up here along this Griggs backstretch where he's got that speed on the outside. Meanwhile, Miss Joker's Casino boat, Jamie Nielsen still hanging out in that third about a rooster tail back.
Jeff Bernard, first lap speed, 149.3. Second place, the home street, 147.2.
Deck-to-deck racing, Sun Market, turn number 3 into Woods Finished Furniture, turn number 4, deck-to-deck with Goodman Real Estate on the inside, Miss Home Street on the outside. It's Jimmy Shane challenging at the Mosteller start-finish line, and he will regain the lead coming down the front stretch. And this is where Jeff Bernard really needs to stay on it. If he wants to have a chance, he's going to need to get in this corner first.
Yeah, well, he's not going to get down here first. Payne's going to get down here first, but only by about a boat length in the home street on the outside. Derek, right to you.
Yeah, and Bernard again, he cuts close inside here along that buoy, and they're close now coming out of Tire Factory turn 2, but it appears that Jimmy Shane is hanging on to this lead now more than a few boat lengths ahead. Call it half a rooster tail on the outside down the Griggs backstretch.
Jimmy Shane, lap 2, 154.7. That's Jimmy Shane in the U1, a 154 turn to lap number 2.
And Jimmy Shane now is pulled away, coming down the Griggs backstretch into Shell Sun Market, turn number 3. Jimmy Shane with the lead as they come off the top end of the course. Checkered flag is coming out for Heat 3 for the Unlimiteds. Shane with the lead at the exit pin. Bernard's on the inside in the Goodman Real Estate. He's pulled almost even with him, but look at Shane with that speed on the straightaway to the Mosteller start-finish line. The checkered flag is out. Jimmy Shane in the home street takes the checkered flag.
But a boat race and a message sent. Hey, he will not go away.
Jeff Bernard, 91 Goodman Real Estate, a perfect run except for that final lap in Tire Factory, turn number 2. Had to back off the throttle a bit, and that cost him going on to the Griggs Ace Hardware backstretch.
But that was competitive. There's no question about it. A very competitive boat race.
Jimmy Shane again winning on the outside. And what a great view Derek Maselli has. Tire Factory turn number 2 in that Freedom Equipment rental lift.
Whether you want an iron with effortless speed, exceptional feel.
Now down to the pits.
Recordings just got better. Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. I'm so excited to announce that
This man, Jim Kropfeld, winner of already 2 races in 1984. Finally, the turbine power of Atlas Van Lines versus the piston engines of the Squire Shop and the Budweiser. The Unlimiteds are next. Valley, some 50 miles from Louisville, Kentucky, and an hour from Cincinnati, Ohio, is the community of Madison, Indiana. where for over 34 years now, unlimited hydroplane racing has been a major part of their summertime. Hello, everybody. I'm Don Poyer, and welcome to Madison, the site of the Indiana Governor's Cup, stop number 4 on the 1984 Unlimited Hydroplane Tour. First of all, a couple of developments. The Tosti Asti, which was damaged during testing in Evansville, Indiana, a week ago, well, they're back here racing. They managed to go back to Seattle, fix up their backup boat, and they qualified here in Madison. They'll be racing. The second development, very exciting. The turbine-powered Light All-Star, for the first time, has qualified in 1984. Jim Hendrick is down with the excited driver, Tom Deeth, right now. Jim?
Woo! Tommy, congratulations. It's been, well, this is into the 4th race, and now you're qualified.
Well, the crew really worked hard, and I'll tell you what, they put together a valiant effort for this last-minute try. We knew that the boat could run fast enough after our run this morning, but there were just too many boats out there, too many wakes. We're having a handling problem with the boat. Obviously, it's very light. Jerry dialed some wing into it, and we went for it, and we got the Light All-Star in the race.
Don, you can see he's on it high. There's no doubt about it. Now, Don's over with one of our other drivers and other boat crews getting ready, and they've had their problems. Over to Don and the Tosti Asti.
Thank you, Jim. You're right about the problems, but first of all, Steve Reynolds, how do you feel about the Light making it? Another turbine?
Listen, that's 4 turbine, 2 Tostis, an Atlas, and now a Miller Light. I think it's great. Watch out, you piston guys. We're coming.
What about this now? This is your backup boat.
Yeah.
A little goosey or what?
Well, we were a little nervous about it, so Dave Herensberger flew in from Seattle, and he says, calm down, young man. You got it under control. I feel great. Long as Dave's here, no problem.
Okay, well, have fun out there, but be careful.
We'll do that.
All right, let's now go to Jim for the rundown of Heat 1A. Jim?
Okay, Don, we have a field of 5 for Heat 1A, thanks to the last-minute qualifying by the Light All-Star, and here's the way they'll line up. It'll be the U-20 with Jerry Hopp, checked in at 106 mile an hour. Ron Snyder, the hometown boat, the American Speedy Printing, at 120.8. Jim Kropfeld, Miss Budweiser, at 123.5. And a best qualifying speed for George Johnson in the Executone at 124. If I had to pick a favorite, Don, I'd have to say that the Executone is coming on strong. However, you got to give the credit to the Kropfeld and the Budweiser team because of their experience and past performance. Now, how about you? What do you see in 1B?
Jim, I'd have to agree. I think the Budweiser's got to be the favorite going into 1A. Let's take a look now at Heat 1B. First of all, Chet's Music, qualifying at 113.1 miles per hour. Todd Yarling, the driver. Followed by the Tosti Asti with Steve Reynolds. Remember, this is the backup boat, qualifying at 115.6 miles per hour. Then comes the Miss Renault with Milner Irvin at the wheel, 118.1 miles per hour. Next, the Union Bay Squire Shop and Mickey Riemann, a winner of 1 race this year, qualified at 119.6. Then comes the Atlas Van Lines, qualifying at a new course record 135.0 miles per hour, driven by Chip Hanauer. As far as Heat 1B, you've got a lot of qualifiers that have similar speeds, with the exception, of course, of the Atlas Van Lines. So look for a great battle for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th places in Heat 1B. We've got that and much more coming up from Madison, Indiana in just a moment. Stay with us.
This game, you're not ready for it.
Don Poyer along with Jim Hendrick here on the shores of the Ohio River for Indiana's Governor's Cup. And here are now the drivers for Heat 1A. Jerry Hopp out of Seattle driving the Miss Carl Yarling. Recently changed the name just this morning, as a matter of fact. We'll talk about it later. Tom Deeth, the driver of the Light All-Star. First time in '84 that he's driving in a race. Ron Snyder will be driving the American Speedy Printing. That's the host boat owned by the community of Madison, Indiana. Jim Kropfeld and the Miss Budweiser qualifying at just over 123 miles per hour. And George Johnson of the Miss Executone Telephones, a fine performance in qualifying at over 124 miles per hour. Again, the rundown now for Heat 1A. The Executone Telephones and your qualifying speeds on the right. The Budweiser, American Speedy Printing, again, the host boat. Miller Lite All-Star with Tom Deeth aboard, and the Carl Yarling, that's the U-20 at 106.6. Here's some of the previous winners. Back in '83, the Budweiser with Jim Kropfeld winning it. On back to the Squire Shop, the Budweiser twice, and the Atlas Van Lines with Bill Munsey in '79. And now the flying start under the Madison-Milton Bridge. Here we go with Heat 1A. In lane number 1, it's the Miss Budweiser with Jim Kropfeld aboard. In lane number 2, it's the Executone Telephones with George Johnson aboard out on those rocky river out there. High rollers, and they're having to negotiate those as they go into the west turn. On the outside is the Executone Telephones, as I said. First to accelerate out of that very tight turn on this 2.5-mile course is that boat, the Miss Budweiser, with Jim Kropfeld of Cincinnati, Ohio aboard. First place to the Budweiser. Second place to the Executone Telephones behind the rooster tail of the Budweiser down these very, very long straightaways. Look at that boat bounce around out there and those very strange rollers that come off the shore and the shallow water here. They have some sandbars underneath the course in different locations, making the water behave rather strangely at times. The Budweiser, a very heavy boat, a good boat to have on a course like this. First place to the Budweiser. You see the lead Jim Kropfeld has over George Johnson and the Executone Telephones. Completing lap number 1 is the Budweiser coming down ahead of George Johnson. That man right there in that brand new Lucero design and built boat. Speed for the Budweiser, 109.8 miles per hour, 106 for the Executone Telephones. Third place going to the Light All-Star with Tom Deeth aboard. Not terribly high speeds, but it's because of the turbulence of the water here. Real choppy going down into that turn. The rollers come off the shore and back into the course. The Budweiser, as I said, a very heavy boat and can negotiate these turbulent waters probably better than most of the boats out on the course. Jim Kropfeld in first place, but look at George Johnson. Now the boat totally covered by the rooster tail of the Budweiser. Third place to Tom Deeth. Happy to be out there. Ron Snyder of the American Speedy Printing got dead in the water down in the west turn. You see the boats go by him now as the Budweiser holds on to first place. They go past the bridge. They'll come under it again. That's the Madison-Milton Bridge, a familiar sight in unlimited hydroplane racing here in Madison, Indiana. Better than 96,000 fans watching the Budweiser coming down the main chute, completing lap number 2. Slowing down just a bit, as a matter of fact. Let's get a time for the Budweiser. First place, 105.5 miles per hour. Second place, the Executone Telephones. So they are slowing down due to the choppy water. The Budweiser with those powerful Griffin engines. You see the skid fin digging in on the left side of the boat, holding on these very tight turns. The diameter only 690 feet. Normally they're around 12 to 13, even 1,400 feet in diameter. Third place to the Light All-Star, the turbine-powered boat, getting its first action experience here in 1984, qualifying at better than 116 miles per hour. But Jim Kropfeld is in control right now. Looks like he's spread it out a little bit ahead of the second place boat. That man rocking and rolling along is George Johnson and the Executone Telephone. The Budweiser under the bridge, back into that east turn. He comes around, flying around that turn. You can see underneath the boat. He's got a tight turn there to get past the American Speedy Printing. A great job of driving by Kropfeld to avoid what could be a disaster. He has to go inside. Executone Telephones went way wide, and of course that meant that the Budweiser picked up some valuable time. In first place is the Budweiser with Jim Kropfeld of Cincinnati, Ohio. Look at him rolling around, the spray coming up over the cockpit. There's his lead over the second place boat, the Executone Telephones, and George Johnson. Johnson, a former offshore racer, so he's used to rollers like this in choppy water, but not in an unlimited hydroplane anyway. The Budweiser again coming into that west turn in lane number 1. A lot of major repairs done on that boat, of course, after that accident that took place in New York up at Syracuse while they were testing, but they got it repaired in time to come back and win last week in Evansville, Indiana. There's the lead again for Jim Kropfeld and company. Bernie Little, of course, owns this boat, the all-time winningest owner, and look who's gone dead in the water. That's George Johnson and the Executone Telephones. He was in second place, obviously some engine problems there. Second place now goes over to this boat, the Light All-Star with Tom Deeth aboard. Third place to the Carl Yarling Special, the U-20 with Jerry Hopp out of Seattle. Second place, though, to that man, Tom Deeth, in the turbine-powered Light All-Star out of Houston, Texas. It's owned by R.B. Bob Taylor. And this man, of course, Jim Kropfeld, working for Bernie Little, the all-time winningest owner, with 47 wins after their victory in Evansville, that being last week. And here's your winner for Heat 1A, the Budweiser, Jim Kropfeld, another 400 points. Second place to the Light All-Star, 300 points, his first of the year for Tom Neath and Company, the Light All-Star. Music. Also, the Tosti Asti and Steve Reynolds driving the backup boat here in Madison. Milner Irvin, as we said, in Heat 1B, driving the Miss Renault in their second year of operation. Mickey Riemann, the national points leader in the Union Bay Squires shop. And he will do battle with this man, the defending national champion, Chip Hanauer, in the new Atlas Van Lines. Here's the rundown again as far as the boats are concerned and qualifying speeds. A new record set by the Atlas Van Lines on this course. Chip breaking his old record, the Squire Shop, the Renault, Tosti Asti, and Chet's Music Shop. And as I said, a new record set by Chip and the new Atlas turbine-powered boat at 135.034. Here we go now for the start of Heat 1B. On the inside, that man, Mickey Riemann, in the Union Bay Squire Shop as they come across the starting line now. In lane 3, you saw the Tosti Asti, and in lane 2, the Atlas Van Lines. Here we go for Heat 1B. You see the Squire Shop fly into that turn now. That's Mickey Riemann in lane 2. Chip Hanauer in the Atlas Van Lines as they go into the west turn. The skid pits digging in, the water flying into the air. The Tosti Asti in third place coming around the outside. Here's the key now on these tight 690-foot diameter turns, the acceleration. And Chip Hanauer has plenty of it in that brand new Jim Lucero design and built hull. The turbine-powered boat, second place, the Squire Shop bouncing around. Look at Mickey Riemann. Holy mackerel, he's jumping all over the place. That boat normally very forgiving in choppy water. He holds onto it all right. In the meantime, Chip Hanauer coming into the east turn now as he comes around in first place on lap number 1 in Heat 1B. He's rocking a little bit there, but the boat seems almost immune to some of those rollers and swells that exist in both turns here in Madison, Indiana. Chip Hanauer, first place in Heat 1B after one lap. Speed for Chip, 124.86 miles per hour. He's moving. Second place, Squire Shop and Mickey Riemann. Of course, Chip drove that boat last year, the past couple of years. In third place, Steve Reynolds for Tosti Asti in their backup boat, their original boat back in Seattle being worked on for the Gold Cup in Tri-Cities. But in first place right now is Chip Hanauer and the new Atlas Van Lines. Chip, the defending national champion, two-time national defending champion, as a matter of fact. His first year in a turbine-powered boat. Oh, it looks like that the Squire must have either, yes, he caught his spots on the water evidently. I don't think he clipped the buoy, but boy, he's got a lot of time and space to make up now. He still holds on to second place as he quickly accelerates down that backstretch. Very, very long straightaways here where they maintain a high speed for a long period of time. That's the Tosti Asti in third place, trying to hold off. I believe it's Chet's Music behind him. Back to that quiet whisper jet, you could almost call it the whoosh boat. It's the turbine-powered Atlas Van Lines. Chip Hanauer, who began racing in the little small limited hydroplanes back at the age of 9 years old, a national champion in virtually every division of the limiteds, and now on to the unlimiteds where he's been a national champion 2 different times. Chip Hanauer coming around. His speed on this particular lap, 125.618 miles per hour. And again, widening that lead over this boat, the national points leader here in 1984, Mickey Riemann and the Union Bay Squire Shop. Back to Chet's Music. He is in fourth place, I believe, with a Tosti Asti right there. Steve Reynolds in third place. They've got a nice battle going on for third and fourth place. While it's smooth sailing for the Atlas Van Lines and Chip Hanauer. And look who's coming up. Miss Renault now is coming up to challenge the Tosti and Chet's Music. He is in fourth place. Coming around now is the Squire Shop in second place. Coming down the back chute, the leader, Chip Hanauer, and the turbine-powered Atlas Van Lines, gliding over the swells as he goes under the Madison-Milton Bridge here in Indiana. The bridge and, of course, the river separating Indiana and the proud state of Kentucky. Chip Hanauer in first place here at Heat 1B on the Ohio River, gliding over those swells as he comes down the main chute in front of better than 96,000 fans watching Heat 1B on the Ohio River. Second place, back to again another Lucero design and built hull, that being Mickey Riemann in the Union Bay Squire Shop. Let's check the speed on Mickey. He's at 106 miles per hour, slowing down just slightly. There again is your battle for third, fourth, and fifth. In third place, that man, Steve Reynolds out of Seattle, Washington, the Vietnam veteran driving a turbine-powered Tosti Asti. He's holding on to third place. On the inside is Chet's Music and Todd Yarling, the hometown boy from Madison, Indiana. Nice little battle there as they come down the main straightaway.
It's hard to juggle everything in life. I feel like Purdue Global offers balance, and I wanted to go back to...
Back to first place, you can see the lead for Chip Hanau over this boat. Wait a minute, it looks like, yes, the Squire Shop is slowing down. Mickey Riemann has turned the boat onto the infield, so that gives even a bigger lead to that man, Chip Hanauer, and the Atlas Van Lines. Hanauer now can lay back while they've got a great battle here. In second place now is Tosti Asti. Third place, that boat being Chet's Music. Back to first place, Chip Hanauer. And you can see it's a little rocky out there on that west turn. He comes down to the back chute now. Very little remaining here in Heat 1B. A couple more laps. There's Tosti Asti going by. And this is the difference now between the second and third and fourth place boats. The Renault and Chet's Music going deck to deck down the main chute, trying to catch Tosti Asti and try to gather more points here in Heat 1B. The Tosti Asti going into the west turn. Steve Reynolds, he loves to do battle, of course. He can't afford to swing too wide, of course, because he's got a man on the inside, that being Chet's Music and Todd Yarling. In the meantime, better than half a lap ahead, here is the winner of Heat 1B, Chip Hanauer and the Atlas Van Lines. Let's take a look at that battle now for second, third, and fourth place. It's the Tosti Asti out of the turn first. He'll get second place. That's Steve Reynolds. Coming in third place, here comes the Renault. And in fourth place, it'll be that man, Todd Yarling, and Chet's Music. Good race here in Heat 1B. The final results are these. The Atlas Van Lines picking up 400 points. The Tosti Asti and Steve Reynolds behind him, followed by the Renault. Chet's Music with... That's Danny Walters shouting instructions, the acting crew chief for this boat. Very little time to work with to get in for 2A. In fact, here's one of the boats going out now, the Carl Yarling with Jerry Hopp aboard. This is the Executone, and here is the rundown for Heat 2A. The Budweiser, the Tosti Asti, the Renault with Milner Irvin, the Carl Yarling, and the Executone Telephones. Here, of course, is the Tosti. The other boat's going out. You see how far behind the Tosti is, getting ready for 2A. And remember this boat back in 1981. It was the Tri-Cities. During testing, when John Walters aboard, suddenly the boat did a 1.5, severely injuring Walters, sending him to the hospital, but he returned to race again the next year. Here is that same boat. Hardly looks the same, doesn't it? With the new cowling, the new design there, and Steve Reynolds hopes to go out and gather some more points aboard the Tosti here in 2A. Chip Hanauer watching from the sidelines with his crewmen aboard the Atlas Van Lines here in the pits. And now from under the Madison Milton Bridge down the Ohio River, here they come now for Heat 2A. What a traffic jam with the Miss Renault in lane number 1, the Budweiser in lane 2, and look at the great start by Jim Kropfeld and the Budweiser. The beer boat in first place in lane number 2 as they come around the west turn. On the inside is the Miss Renault with Milner Irvin, the Tosti Asti in roughly third place as they go around the west turn. Acceleration on the part of those Griffin engines and the Budweiser. Look at Milner Irvin though coming up into lane number 1. In second place is the Miss Renault challenging the Budweiser going down that long back chute here on the Ohio River. The Budweiser, Jim Kropfeld in first place. Third place goes to Tosti Asti and Steve Reynolds in the turbine-powered boat. Their backup boat, as a matter of fact. The Budweiser into the east turn with Jim Kropfeld out of Cincinnati, Ohio. He's in lane 2 with Milner Irvin still with the inside position. He has the shortest route around the course here on this 2.5-mile course in Madison, Indiana. Here comes Milner Irvin on the inside in that beautiful yellow Staudinger designed and built boat. Coming down to complete lap number 1, the Budweiser and the Renault. Lap speed 110 miles per hour for the Budweiser, 109 for the Miss Renault. Tosti Asti in third place, speed 103.077. Back into the west turn. Allison powered boat, that being the Renault with Milner Irvin aboard. The Budweiser, Jim Kropfeld staying safely to the outside. I would imagine those two are simply having a lot of fun right now. But look at the great job of turning by Milner Irvin. He's holding on to a slim lead as they go down the back straightaway here on the Ohio River. The Budweiser, the Miss Renault, Milner Urban, and Jim Kropfeld having a ball going down the back chute. It looks like the Budweiser has a slight lead now as they go down towards the east turn and under the bridge one more time.
I've worked at some of the largest retailers on the planet. You think they all have it figured out, but Shopify really does.
You can build a totally custom application, and by doing that, year over year.
The Budweiser in first place. On the left of your screen, the Tosti Asti in third place, but hard-charging George Johnson in the Executone Telephone, moving up to overtake third place as they go into the turn. The Budweiser back in first place. The Griffin engines, you can hear them, a familiar sound, a fluttering, powerful sort of sound from the Griffin. On the inside, though, here comes Milner Urban again in the Miss Renault. He's driving a sensational race. Milner Urban, his second year in that boat, holding on to second place against the Bud. Second place again to Milner Urban. Here's your battle for third and fourth place. Executone Telephone on the inside, the Tosti Asti on the outside with Steve Reynolds. Again, back to the Budweiser coming out of the turn. You see the relationship between the first and second and third and fourth place boats. Jim Kropfeld holding on to a lead now against Milner Urban and the Miss Renault. He lengthens that lead a bit as he accelerates down the back straightaway. Milner Urban, an electrical contractor out of Coral Gables, Florida. He raced in race number 1 in '84 in front of many hometown fans down in Miami. Again, the battle for third and fourth place. You've got George Johnson with great position on the inside, the shortest route around the course, but I would imagine a little more acceleration on the part of the Tosti Asti. The Budweiser holding on to first place. The water seems to be a bit calmer now than it was in heats 1A and 1B. There's the relationship between first and second place. The Budweiser in first. Speed 105.189 for the Budweiser. Again, a great battle for third and fourth place. That being George Johnson, the former offshore racer for the Executone Telephones people, a part owner of that boat. Steve Reynolds on the outside, the Vietnam veteran, former helicopter pilot coming down the outside in that turbine boat. They're not going all that fast, 103 and 100 miles per hour as they battle for third and fourth place. A great show, though, for the fans. The Budweiser coming down the back chute for the last time here in Heat 2A. Milner Urban and the Miss Renault in second place, the boat owned by Jerry Shadon out of Detroit, Michigan. And, of course, we go to Detroit next week. Here again is the battle for third and fourth, and George Johnson overtaking the Tosti Asti going down the back chute. He is now in third place. In fourth place is the Tosti Asti. The Budweiser clearly in front, in control, and he will take Heat 2A, 400 points for the Budweiser and Jim Kropfeld. So the Budweiser picks up another 400 points. The Miss Renault 300. Executone Telephones, third place. Tosti Asti fourth. And the Miss Carl Yarling came in fifth place. And now down to the pits again with Jim Hendrick.
Let's catch a man who's had his fastest action of 1984 and quite a battle with the...
World Cup winner Chip Hanauer in the Miss Budweiser is looking to make history with his own big win. ESPN presents the RC Cola 1993 Unlimited Hydroplane Series.
The Gold Cup uses the old rules. We've had the drivers out here practicing those timing runs. All that milling and dicing that takes place before the race, we'll have a great shot of it for you from the Budweiser airship.
Yes, we have our cameras all around this course. We had plenty of action. In fact, we had a lot of action yesterday. This is a two-day event. Let's take a look.
Well, you can see it was a little bit on the cool side yesterday by the jackets the fans are wearing here in Detroit, but it won't affect the drivers. Lane number 1, the Tide boat, Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. Lane 2, Winston Eagle. Lane 3, Circus Circus. Lane 4, and Art Van's American Spirit. Lane 5 on the outside, it was the pace boat coming down for the start. The green flag out, and the boats take it hard into turn number 1, but it's the Winston Eagle with the hometown favorite Mark Tate aboard. Mark was born right up the road from Detroit. He knows this river well, and he knows about that rooster tail turn, that sharpest of all turns in unlimited hydroplane racing that's coming up after the backstretch. Kellogg's Frosted Flakes on the outside as they try to go down side by side. Mark Tate puts his foot in it and gets the power to the Winston Eagle.
And he gets a little high in that right Sponson, Dick, as he gets near quarter number 3 down here at the Detroit Yacht Club. This is a tight rooster tail turn. This oval-shaped course is really big in corners 1 and 2, very small in corners number 3 and 4. And Mark Tate hopes to repeat his biggest thrill in powerboat racing. He won this event in 1991, the Gold Cup.
Little battle for second place going on the inside with the Art Van American Spirit, Mark Evans, and on the outside in spot number 2, it is the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes boat, but uncontested is Mark Tate aboard the Winston Eagle. And Mark would like nothing better than to win a Gold Cup here in Detroit before his hometown fans. He's done well in qualifying races with this boat. He just hasn't been able to put it into the winner's circle as consistently as they'd like. So they hope to break it, and Circus finishing out in 5th place. Heat 1B, another 3-lapper, again run yesterday. In lane number 1, it's the DOC AccuView, Miss T Plus lane 2, Miss Budweiser lane 3, and DOC Ray-Ban in lane 4. And as the boats came down, the Miss Budweiser was obviously the dominant force in this race. As they headed down into turn number 1, Chip Hanauer puts the boat out front. Didn't have to work particularly hard on this one. Again, we say this is a 3-lap race. The races coming up later today for the Gold Cup will all be 5-lap races. There's a great shot of the Miss Budweiser on a river that Chip Hanauer has had some very happy memories from.
Now, there are no lane choices as per your qualification speeds in the Gold Cup. You go out the 5-minute gun, you run on the clock like the old rules, you do not have assigned lanes, you have to fight for it. So evidently, the Budweiser started here in lane 3 yesterday. That was by choice by the driver, Chip Hanauer.
Chip Hanauer liking those middle lanes so far this year. He doesn't want to put the boat right on the buoys, wants a little extra run. Look at the ride of the DOC AccuView. Ken Muscatel getting bounced around in there. He's going to be happy he's got that 8-point harness on to just hold him in the seat. Here's the DOC Ray-Ban, Mitch Evans. He's had a little bit of engine problem with that boat. It's the only piston boat in the field, and it looks like he's lost the rooster tail. He has engine trouble that will not be fixed on the course. And speaking of engine problems,
well, we hear from the pits now that the T Plus is down because the engine, the oil pressure has dropped and the engine has seized up.
That's bad news for them, but this is good news for the Miss Budweiser. Chip Hanauer, checkered flag is out. His first win of the weekend.
And lap number 1 yesterday on this heat, 158.155, a new competition lap record for the Detroit course, beating the old record set by Tom Deeth in 1990 by about 4 miles an hour. Now, Steve David knows, as is true Tim Ramsey and the rest of those guys, they may have to replace the hot section if this engine, if when the oil pressure dropped on the course, they did extensive damage. They're really going to have to work on this boat. The skyline of the Motor City on the banks of the Detroit River, where earlier this week in qualifying the fastest lap ever, the Winston Select Lap Award goes to the record-setting 170.087 mile an hour for Mark Tate of Detroit, Michigan, in the Winston Eagle.
It had been a long time since anyone had out-qualified Chip Hanauer and Miss Budweiser. Not only did Mark Tate do that here in Detroit, he set a new world record for a 2.5-mile course. The combination just came together, or did you find some magic?
Well, basically, you know, we just put a motor in and put a setup down real quick and went out and ran, and we didn't even have the rear wing on the boat, and Jim just says go out there and feel the boat out, and if it feels good, try and lay down a lap. And so we did that. We ran 2 laps, and the second lap happened to be a 170-mile-an-hour lap, and it was a big thrill, but that was something that we're going to have to put behind us here today and get focused for racing conditions on Saturday and Sunday.
The Detroit Budweiser APBA Gold Cup, and it'll be Gold Cup racing action when we come back in just a moment. You can win a lot of Gold Cups in a lot of different locations, but when you win one on the Detroit River, it's real special. Why? Because of the history of the river. It's got a sad history in the drivers we've lost here, but it's got a very happy history in the many, many moments of victory that have been had. Today, Chip Hanauer will go out onto this river not only as the defending Gold Cup champ, but as the man most likely to move on to set a record in Gold Cup wins. If he wins today, it'll be a 9th Gold Cup. And he will eclipse the record that was held by Bill Munsey, who not only was a man very instrumental in getting Chip Hanauer into unlimited hydroplane racing, but a man that was very much loved by one Chip Hanauer. So it'll be a very special win to owner Bernie Little, but an exceptionally special win to one Chip Hanauer. The Gold Cup and the Detroit River, they go together, and they will go together today.
Heat 2A yesterday saw the driver of the DOC AccuView, Ken Muscatel, get a $100 fine for lane encroachment on the Winston Eagle and damage the tail of that boat. The lineups were T+, Circus Circus, Kellogg's, DOC AccuView, and the Winston. As they come down now, there are 5 boats up on the front line. The Winston Eagle is back in the section. He got wet down a little bit. That's where the lane encroachment came just prior to the start. And as they come into corner number 1 of the first turn down by the Belle Isle Bridge, it seems that Kellogg's Frosted Flakes with Mike Hansen is safely out in front, and he did cut over, but they say legally. In that mishap of all the rooster tails coming together, all of a sudden, it was the Circus Circus bell rolling. He got hit by the tail of the T+. The T+ rooster tail hits full blast. The boat does a complete bell roll, upside down, lands right side up. Circus Circus suffered severe damage to left sponson, the tail, and the deck section. Dave Villwock was okay. The T+ driver, Steve David, was fined $500 and disqualified from the 2A restart as we see the driver of Villwock getting aboard the rescue boat. Steve Montgomery talked to the crew chief of the Circus Circus, Dan Walter.
You know what happened down there?
Yeah, Dave came over on the radio and said he was okay. He said T+ came over on the top of him. Cut right in front of him.
Did the boat go over?
Oh, I couldn't see. I just saw a lot of spray.
So he didn't tell you whether it flipped or rolled or what happened?
No. They're saying left sponson's pretty well broken up and lost the wing, cowling, most of the top stuff.
Here's Dave Villwock getting out of the rescue boat, returning to the docks. Now let's go down to the T+ area of the pits, where Steve David has been fined and disqualified from the restart of Heat 2A. Let's go to Steve Montgomery for that part of the story.
Steve, can you tell us anything about what happened?
I'm not really certain. Frosted Flakes came over real hard in the first turn at the entry pin, and I was in lane 2, and apparently, I guess, Circus was close enough to me that he must have caught some of my water because we received a DSQ for this heat. So I got to talk to Bill Walk and see exactly what happened. In my mirrors, I didn't think he was close enough, but apparently he was.
Were you outside of him? He was in lane 2.
Yeah, I was outside of Circus, but I thought, well more than 5 boat lengths ahead of him, but apparently not. And I guess there was some other dicing going on at the start as well.
The power of a rooster tail in competition shows the extensive damage caused to the Circus Circus as the left sponson completely destroyed. They're out for the day. Let's go back to Steve Montgomery in the pits.
Tom Tomlinson from Las Vegas and Circus Circus Enterprises has been with Dave Villwock in the bus. I know the doctors want him to take a little easy for a while, and you've been with him. How's Dave doing?
He's in very good spirits. He got some pretty severe knee damage from the catapult in the flip, and his knee slammed against the steering wheel. But other than that, he looks good. He's talking well. His vital signs are fine, and he'll be okay.
The boat obviously cannot be repaired by tomorrow, but your backup boat is here. Will it be able to race?
That is correct. We're still waiting to see from the doctor. They're going to look at Dave again and give him the go-ahead, the A-OK or the nay.
We'll continue to follow that story and keep you up to date on it. Meanwhile, let's take a recap of Heat 2A, the restart. And Mike Hansen moved over into lane number 1, it looked like, on the restart. He's in the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes boat. This boat has really come on strong this year. It's one of those boats that had some problems in handling last year and such, but now he's perfectly confident in the boat. The engine is running well. He is in first place, second place as they run on the course here in Detroit. The Winston Eagle with Mark Tate.
And it looks
In second place, looking for Dustin.
Wake up.
Race started the minute they pushed the button to leave the dock there, and you can see they're all running fairly close together. The start is huge here. These are only 3-lap preliminary races, so if somebody gets a jump on you, it's tough, as fast as all these boats are, to make up that difference and make up that distance. Now, you're going to see guys that want to have the inside lane. They're going to try to drag guys up there early so that they can maybe get them to jump the gun or make a mistake. You have to maintain a minimum speed of 80 miles per hour. That's kind of a judgment call now, and as Dylan cuts across the infield here to try and pick up that inside lane as everybody else is coming down the front straightaway here. So it's going to be a battle from the very beginning. Just like we said, this is a heavyweight championship, but it's going to be 4 different fighters.
Yeah, this is going to be good. So we're coming up on 2 minutes and 40 seconds. 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Again, for those of you that have never seen this before, we're not racing yet. That doesn't mean we're not in the middle of a competition right now. Watch J. Michael Kelly. Is he going to make a move? I thought maybe he might jump across to the backstretch, but no, that would have been a legal maneuver, but he did not. He went all the way down to the bottom of the race course as we approach 2 minutes and 20 seconds, 2:20 until the start. Remember, our boats do not have assigned lanes. They are jockeying for position. So wherever somebody is on the course right now, that may be where they want to be. It may not be where they want to be. As John was talking earlier, you've got to have a plan B, C, and sometimes D when you get out on the race course. We will begin our 3-lap preliminary Heat 1A in 1 minute and 50 seconds. John, they're all up at the top end of the race course. Dylan Runny's going to come off first.
Yeah, the way this race course is set up, at the 1-minute gun, you want to be between, about the apex of turn 1 here and the exit pin. It's a short run down that back straightaway, especially as fast as these guys go. So you're going to see everybody try to get down there, and like you mentioned, you're either at where the spot you want to be on the race course or where you would think you want the competition to think you want to be there. So a lot of this is just head games, and a lot of it's playing the game.
And another piece to this puzzle that we talked about earlier, but not yet during this heat, the boats cannot drop below 80 miles per hour. So that really affects how you fight for these positions. You can't just go park in a lane at the top end of the race course. You have to maintain at least 80 miles an hour. That will be determined by the officials when we finish the heat and the boats come back to the pit area and they look at the data recorder. So now inside 1 minute, they were pretty much where you were talking about, John, and right now it looks as though Dylan Runny in the U1, the Miss Home Street, is going to sit in lane number 1 up the backstretch. That's going to be his teammate Andrew Tate sitting in 2, lane 3. It looks like Corey Peabody, but we're going to watch where J. Michael Kelly might slot. He's coming up behind the boats, and we are inside 35 seconds. John, they're at the top end. We're going to be racing here inside 25 seconds.
Yeah, they're all in pretty good shape. Dylan may be a little bit early, and you saw J. Michael Kelly last week, get up there too early, and he had to make a decision. Do I jump the gun or do I get disqualified? If you jump the gun, at least you get to continue to race. It's about 7 seconds off the exit pin, and here they come.
Inside 10 seconds now. They come down to the start. It is Runny in 1. It is Tate in 2. It's Peabody in 3. On the outside, J. Michael Kelly. We are 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1. Mark, it looks to be legal from here. We'll call them as they are on the water. And John Walters said that Dylan Runny didn't bring a lot of boat speed down as he was early. He's going to trail the field into turn 1. Our leader on the outside is J. Michael Kelly, but he's already been passed to the left of him on the inside. That is going to be Corey Peabody in the Beacon Plumbing, and inside of him it is Andrew Tate. It is Tate. It is Peabody up the backstretch. Halfway through, Peabody on the outside. He's up by about 3 boat lengths, but now, John, it's that inside lane position that Andrew's got at the top end.
Yeah, Corey's really in the best position here because he can control, how wide and how early, they get into the turn there. So he's going to try to hold and maintain that radius around there as they start down the straightaway towards the start-finish line to the end of lap 1.
A boat that's showing me an awful lot of speed right now is J. Michael Kelly because he's staying in the mix here, and he's running the biggest race course on the far outside. Our 4th place boat across the line is Dylan Runny in the Home Street now, down to the lower end of the race course. It is still Corey Peabody. He's running in lane number 2. He's holding Andrew Tate to a nice tight line on the inside. He's driving him legal, John. He's given him enough room, but he's not giving him any more.
Yeah, he's not giving him any extra, and he knows exactly where he's at. He's got spotters that are telling him he can see the race course himself very well, and he knows as long as he can pinch, you know, Andrew in that first turn there, that he's going to have to come off the throttle to maintain his boat speed so he doesn't slide out into that rooster tail. So he's actually controlling the first turn, even though he's not in the first lane.
I've been making the comment all weekend long that nobody has solved the Corey Peabody puzzle, and once again he's out almost by a rooster tail. J. Michael Kelly on the far outside has got his sight set on Andrew Tate, but that's going to be a tall order as the boats go down to the bottom end of the race course for the third and final time. Our leader off the exit pin, Corey Peabody, got almost a full rooster tail now on Andrew Tate on the inside. Tate, our top qualifier. Our Beacon Plumbing with Corey Peabody was our third fastest qualifier, but John Walters, they've got a good race setup, and he's walking away from our top qualifier up the backstretch.
They've got an excellent race set up. The water was good. Corey did a really good job, and like I mentioned earlier, lane 2 is the place you want to be here. This is a big, wide race course with big turns, and boy, you get on any farther outside than that, it's a long, long ways around these turns, but Corey was in a position to control that first turn and really put him in a position to win.
Checkered flag flies. Corey Peabody in the U9. Beacon Plumbing, second place, is going to go to our top qualifier, Andrew Tate, U91 Goodman Real Estate. Then it's J. Michael Kelly in third, driving the 8. That is the Beacon Electric. And the man who was a little bit early at the start, and you saw how it can cost him, Dylan Runny in the U1, the Miss Home Street. You talked about it, John. You said maybe Dylan was early. He was. He came off the corner. The other guys were behind him, got to put the foot down. They brought the momentum to the line. And unfortunately, as you said prior to the heat, you can't let these guys get the jump on you because they're just too quick. You'll never catch them in 3 laps.
Exactly. And in the old days, you know, you used to be able to sneak up there a little bit early and you could back off the throttle. You could, you know, use up some extra time going wide in the turns or whatever. But if you drop below 80 miles an hour, you're going to get penalized now. So you put yourself in a real tough position. You want to get up there and put yourself in a good spot to be able to get the lane that you want without having
race course. That being Jamie Nielsen in the Legend Yacht Transport, presented by the Old Cannery Furniture Warehouse. Up the backstretch with 155 until the start. Dustin Eccles is up there first. He might be a little bit early, John. You were saying he wanted to be down here at the lower end at a minute. Remember, he can't just slow the boat down. He's got to stay above 80 miles per hour.
Got to stay above 80 miles per hour, maintain a planing attitude. And you want to be about the apex to the exit pin when the 1 minute gun goes off. Now, you've already heard and seen some jockeying going on. If you hear that popping and banging out there, that's a compressor stall where the bleed band is locked closed, and it's getting down to a point where the bleed band is closing and the fuel control gets unhappy and the compressor stalls. Dustin's a little bit early there. If he backs off the throttle here, he risks, you know, going under 80 miles an hour and could be penalized a lap or even disqualified. So as we're getting for the countdown for the 1 minute gun right now.
3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 mark. I think Dustin's going to be okay. He went deep into that corner to scruff off a little bit of time. Now he can swing it back into an inside lane. The boats don't determine their final lane until the entrance pin of the upper corner up by the bridge. So they could still see a lane change at this point, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think that's the way they're going to come to the line. Dustin Eccles in the U40, the flavor pack, is going to sit in lane number 1. Lane number 2 is going to go to Jamie Nielsen. That is in the Legend Yacht Transport. That is the Chartreuse and Royal Blue. Then it is going to be Bobby King in the red trimmed in black Graham Trucking to U12. We'll have Gunnar O'Farrell on the far outside and trailing the field coming to the line. We are inside 20 seconds until the start. Watch the boats fan out on the top end of the race course, and then a run down to turn number 1. And we are inside 10 seconds. Now look at Bobby King. He's got speed bringing it to the line. Is he too early? We are 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 mark. Boats are across the line. Bobby King appears to have a good start, and it is a legal start. It is legal. Bobby King, the rookie, going to take him down to the lower end of the race course, but he's got Jamie Nielsen with him, and also now Nielsen takes over the lead on the inside. off the corner. Coming up the backstretch, Jamie Nielsen, U11 Legend Yacht Transport looking strong. Again, another good start for Jamie Nielsen. John, as they go up the top end of the race course, but he's got company in Bobby King.
Yeah, Jamie made a really good start up there. And when Dustin got up there a little bit early, he had to slide out wide just a little bit, and Jamie slid inside of him, and they've got the #1 lane. So, like I say, I think that Flavor Pack boat's got a little top end on everybody here. Jamie was able to, reel in Bobby there in the 12 as they got down there, and boy, they've got a real good race going here as they go to the first turn at the end of first lap.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3 down to the bottom end of the race course. It is Jamie Nielsen in lane #1. Bobby King with a good start and a lot of boat speed is sitting in lane #2. He is in position #2. And then keep an eye on Dustin Eccles. You said he had top end on everybody. He might, and he's going to try and use it, and he's got his sight set on Bobby King. The race may be for second place, but I'll tell you what, Jamie Nielsen cannot relax. He's got a right side rear view mirror that is full of the rookie Bobby King. Graham Trucking running very strong up the backstretch. We are in the middle of lap #2. Still anybody's race up at the top end. Where is Gunnar O'Farrell? There he is. He's halfway up the backstretch. So O'Farrell is still running in 4th place. Jamie Nielsen's going to come down and put 2 in the books, and that is going to be in 1st place. But look at the run for 2nd place. Here it comes. Dustin Eccles on the outside, the Flavor Pack. He flies the 40 as he drives around Bobby King on the outside. But King's going to have lane position on the inside. This corner's going to be very interesting for our 2nd place battle. It is the Flavor Pack, U40 Dustin Eccles. He has now taken over 2nd place. He's holding Bobby King in tight, but our leader with a full 2 Rooster Tails over those 2 boats remains Jamie Nielsen. Legend Yacht Transport presents the Old Cannery Furniture Warehouses at the top end of the course and looking strong. Don't count out Bobby King. He's still got lane position up here, and Dustin Eccles is going to have to drive a great big race course to go outside the wake of Jamie Nielsen. But coming down to pick up a checkered flag here, at least unofficially in our Heat 1B, Jamie Nielsen, U11 Legend Yacht Transport. 2nd place is going to go to Dustin Eccles in the Flavor Pack. 3rd place to Bobby King in the Graham Trucking, the U12. And coming off the top end of the race course in the U60, the Beast Unleashed presents Mr. Jump over to the backstretch now. Andrew does not have a right-of-way here. He's got to be careful. And J. Michael Kelly went right through the rooster tail of Andrew Tate. And I'm telling you right now, the officials are going to take a look at that one. The boat that is on the straightaway has the right-of-way. J. Michael Kelly had the right-of-way there. And it is going to be a question about Andrew Tate. A boat entering the course from the infield does not have the right-of-way. I'm sure the officials are going to take a look at that. We'll call them the way they are on the water. And at the top end of the race course, it is Jamie Nielsen. He is right now in lane #1. Kelly is in 2. It is Andrew Tate in lane #3. Watch him come off the top end of the race course. But we're still a minute 30, still a minute 35, John, until our start. So they got to go all the way down and around again.
Yeah, they're going to cruise down here, staying above that 80-mile-per-hour minimum, trying to establish and hold these lanes. Like I say, if they can get down to the first turn here about the apex when the 1-minute gun goes off, they'll be in great shape. You'll see them accelerate and start up the turn. Now, they can still change lanes until they get to the score-up buoy here, which is the entrance pin of the entrance pin of the 2nd turn. Up at the top end of the race course by the floating bridge. So you've called it about 1 minute. They want to be down at the apex of the lower corner. That's where they are right now with 2-1 mark, 1 minute. And it is Jamie Nielsen sitting in lane #1. He is in the Legend Yacht Transport. Then it is J. Michael Kelly in the Beacon Electric. That's the red boat in lane 2. Coming up behind them is the predominantly white boat, the Goodman Real Estate, with Andrew Tate. And it looks like making a charge on the outside is going to be Dustin Eccles in the U40, the Flavor Pack, 37 seconds. John, as they go up the backstretch. Yeah, they're all in pretty good shape right here. Actually, from J. Michael K back, they're in excellent shape, and you can see they're going to start accelerating, getting after the power here. They're going to have a little bit of a speed advantage by the time they get to Jamie up there, but he's still in control of this field right now. Jamie Nielsen is in 1. Kelly is in 2. Tate is in 3. Eccles is on the outside. They are at the exit pin of the corner at 11 seconds. So they're going to have to hold back here just a little bit. We are inside 10 seconds. Now they start to come up on the power curve. Going to be a pretty start. We are 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 mark.
and we are racing in Heat 2A. The start appeared to be good, but we'll monitor the radio, and it is going to be Andrew Tate and J. Michael Kelly that are going to get down here first, and they are literally side by side. But once again, Jamie Nielsen with the lane position on the outside. They're going to come off the corner 3 wide. The start is under review. We'll keep an ear to the radio. Look at them, 3 wide down the backstretch. And now J. Michael Kelly in the Beacon Electric starts to move out a little bit on Jamie Nielsen, but he's bringing Andrew Tate with him. The two of them are tied together as they get to the top end of the race course and enter into turn number 2. Nielsen with the lane position on the inside, but boy, John, we got a barn burner on the outside.
Yeah, we absolutely do, and Jamie's got the inside lane, but he's really having to watch himself as the other two boats have got overlap now, and they're starting to put the pinch on him, hoping he'll have to back off the throttle, and then they'll give them a clear advantage to move over to that inside lane.
One lap in the books with 2 more to go. It was J. Michael Kelly by about a boat length and a half, but now Tate has closed that up. He's basically pulled up alongside Mike. The two of them are going to come off the lower corner virtually side by side. Looks like one boat, but now we see a little bit of white. We can see Andrew Tate, Goodman Real Estate, Beacon Electric tied together up the backstretch, and watch on the outside. Dustin Eccles in the flavor pack. He's not being lost. He was in 4th place. He has now moved past Jamie Nielsen as they get to the top end of the race course. Dustin Eccles driving a mighty big race course, but our leaders still tied together as they come down to put 2 in the books, John.
Yeah, as they come down this straightaway here, J. Michael Kelly's got the catbird seat. He's, the inside lane, even though he's not in lane number 1, but he's able to, keep Andrew on his hip right there and really control the race course. The boat is accelerating good. They got great boat ride.
Boy, I'll tell you what, Andrew Tate really flew the 91 as he got down to the corner. Kelly's going to come out first. Now he's opened up a little bit of water on Andrew Tate, making about 4 or 5 boat lengths. I'm telling you, Dustin Eccles not going away in 3rd, but I don't think he's going to have enough time to run down Andrew Tate. J. Michael Kelly, you heard John Walters say he is in the catbird seat. He's sitting on an inside lane. He's just got to negotiate this north turn, come through clean, come down, and he will pick up a checkered flag and an apparent 400 big points, and that's going to be huge in the National High Point standings. We'll get to that later. Here they come, top of the course, come down to put 3 up and 3 down. Checkered flag flies. It is J. Michael Kelly in the Beacon Electric. He will finish first. Andrew Tate will come across in 2nd place. A hard-charging Dustin Eccles will come across in the U40, the flavor pack. And Jamie Nielsen, he will come yet. He's driving the white U9. Beacon Plumbing, Corey Peabody, the predominantly Beacon Plumbing. Top end of the race course, Bobby King. He surprised me, John, in that last heat because he moved to an inside lane, not the inside lane, but he went ahead and said, I'm going to come in here and mix it up with you guys. And he had a nice start. He had a good run in that first heat.
He did have a nice start, and like I say, he's no stranger to fast boats and having to race hard. So he's going to come down here a little bit early right now. Looks like he's going to cut across maybe, and or at least he's slowing way down, trying to get an inside lane down here and be in that first turn with a minute left on the clock.
Yeah, well, what it looks like to me, if he can hold it off and he can keep his speed above 80 miles an hour and get down there, he's going to have an inside lane. He may have the inside lane. I think he's sitting tight to the buoy row right now. A minute 10, 1:10 until the start, and it is. Bobby King is sitting in lane number 1. Oh, this could be a lot. We are at 2 seconds, 1 second mark, 1 minute to our Heat 2B presented to Seafair by Beacon Plumbing. And now, off the bottom end of the race course, Bobby King in the U12, the Graham Trucking, predominantly black, trimmed in red. He is on an inside lane. Next to him in lane number 2 is the U9, the Beacon Plumbing. That's Corey Peabody. He was a winner in his first heat. Then it is going to be Dylan Runny in the powder blue and white Miss Home Street. He's going to be in lane number 3. Look for Gunnar O'Farrell in the Beast Unleashed to drop back on the outside. He's way on the outside right now. He will drop back. He has to start 5 seconds behind the clock. I like where they are, John Walters. They were 20 seconds at the entrance pin to the corner. Look at King sitting in 1. I like it. Now, Dylan Runny, he's out in front of everybody, but he's not going to have a lot of boat speed. We are coming up inside 5 seconds. We are 3 seconds, 2, 1. Mark, it appears to be a very clean start. Corey Peabody's going to break the clock. It is a legal start, and he's going to get down to the corner first, but he's got Bobby King off to his left on the inside lane. Look for Corey to stick the white nose out first, and there he is, Corey Peabody. But he's got a left side rear view mirror full of Bobby King. I'm liking this rookie, Bobby King, John.
Yeah, I definitely like Bobby. He comes from a long line of good boat racers. His dad, of course, being one of those. He's going to hang right in there. At this point in time, Corey's got enough overlap. He could take the lane, but I bet that he won't. He'll give him plenty of room down there. He's got boat speed on everybody right now. He made a great start leading these guys around the upper turn.
The boat you don't see is the Home Street, the Miss Home Street. He is on the outside. He is in third position. You couldn't see him up the backstretch. Here comes Corey. One up, one down, 2 to go. Still got Bobby King on the inside. It's about a rooster tail lead for Corey Peabody. The race is going to be for second place. Can Dylan Runny run down the rookie Bobby King on the inside? He's going to have to do it on a big race course, John.
He is, and this is a long ways around this race course, but Dylan's got the boat in a good lane right there. He's accelerating really hard. The boat comes off the turns, and he appears to have boat speed on Bobby when he gets to the other end there. But he runs out of straightaway just about the time that he gets in a position to make a move.
I'm telling you right now, Bobby King has closed up on Corey Peabody. He's only back by about 4, maybe 5 boat lengths, and he's got an inside lane. Bobby King is making a run out of this on the inside. King right on the buoy row. They're going to come off together. Peabody on the outside. King has taken the lead off the corner, and they're going to be side by side as they come down and put 2 in the books. Bobby King driving the daylights out of the Graham Trucking on the inside. He has moved away from Dylan Runny, who's dropped back in third position. Third and final lap, lower end of the race course. How do we do down here? Corey Peabody found some extra speed. He's opened up about 4 boat lengths. I'll tell you what, I don't know if King surprised Corey or not, but he made a run on that last straightaway.
It's hard to say exactly if maybe he snuck up on him there, but Corey's opened up a little bit of ground here. He's given Bobby enough room inside there. He's given him a lane in about a foot, so he's got to get in there and tighten up that radius.
Now we're back to keeping an eye on Dylan Runny in third. I don't know if he can run down Bobby King. He's way on the outside, got a big race course to do it. But meanwhile, here comes the leader. Here comes our apparent winner of Heat 2B, presented by Beacon Plumbing. It is the Beacon Plumbing. Nobody has solved the Corey Peabody puzzle. The race for second, it's a doozy, but it's Bobby King by 5 boat lengths over Dylan Runny in the Home Street. Holy cow, the rookie just keeps showing me more and more. Top end of the race course, here comes another rookie. We had 3 rookies in that particular heat. Didn't look like it. Looked like pretty good racing to me. Here comes Gunnar O'Farrell in the Beast. Unleashed presents Miss Thriftway. I got excited about that one, John. That was kind of fun. I had a good time. Let's do that again.
Yeah, absolutely. That was an excellent heat. And again, I think this is just a preview of things to come tomorrow. It's going to be an outstanding boat race. And, we've already seen some of that. Really good drivers, really good equipment. The water conditions have held up all day today.
Just under 4 minutes away, and Seafair reminds you that for your own safety and the safety of those around you, everybody must be out of the water when the hydros are on the Ted Jones race course, and they are on that course now. We need you up and on the shoreline, please. So now it's time to get out of the water and enjoy the world's fastest race boats. 3 minutes and 30 seconds, 3:30 to the start of our Heat 3A, presented by Home Street Bank. John Walters. Yesterday, the boats came out of the pit area, and immediately everybody was jumping across the race course. This morning, first heat, nobody.
Yeah, that's just the difference, I guess, depending on when they left and how they, lined up on the course there. It's so important to get the inside lane here, and they're able to go. Now, we've just got one that's cut across the infield here, and Jamie Nielsen has taken a shortcut across the course, not going through the first turn here, trying to get a position to establish that position in the inside lane.
And that's a perfectly legal maneuver. Now here comes Jamie from the backside to the front, and that too is a legal maneuver. He can only cut the race course where he just did it. He can cut back to front like he just did at the north end of the race course. He can cut front to back at the bottom end of the race course, which he did before. And he, Jamie Nielsen, is going to follow J. Michael Kelly in the U8. That's the bright red Beacon Electric. He's going to follow him down to the lower end of the race course. Meanwhile, coming off the bottom end of the race course at 2:23 until the start. 2:20 now up the backstretch. The first boat up there is the blue and yellow. That is the Flavor Pack. And Dustin Eccles, he's followed by Gunnar O'Farrell in the predominantly white Beast. Unleashed presents Miss Thriftway. 2:06, John, 2:06. This is the milling period. A lot can happen over the next couple of minutes.
It definitely can, and we're a minute away from that 1 minute gun. Most of these guys are going to want to be about the apex of the first turn down here when the 1 minute gun goes off, and then they'll stroll up the back straightaway, hopefully in the lane that they've chosen. When they get at the other turn up there, they're going to be about a 12-second run from the exit pin to the starting finish line.
All right, 140 to the start. Everybody went up to the top except Jamie Nielsen again. He cut the race course again. He cut it back to front. He cut it at the top end, a legal maneuver. So here comes Dustin Eccles down the front straightaway. He's coming down here at 125. You heard John just say you want to be at the apex of this corner about the 1 minute mark, so they might be a little bit early. Jamie Nielsen trails both Gunnar O'Farrell and Dustin Eccles down to the corner, and then your last boat going down there, which actually I like perhaps the positioning of J. Michael Kelly. That's the red boat. He's going to be the last one down there. Fans, our boats, when they come out on the race course, they are not assigned a lane. They actually jockey for those positions, and to get those lanes, the last piece to that puzzle is you cannot drop below 80 miles per hour, and that will be determined when they take the data acquisition boxes out of the boat after the heat. The data will tell them if they dropped below 80. We saw that yesterday inside 40 seconds heading up toward the top end of the race course, John Walters.
Here they go up the back straightaway, and you can see Jamie, pulled off that magic again, got the inside lane in a good position there. I think that everybody's going to close it up here pretty quickly, and there'll be a race literally from the exit pin to the starting line.
20 seconds until the start. We're going to go 3 times around. J. Michael Kelly, he's going to have an outside start, but he's going to come into lane 3. That's right, Gunner's got to stay on the outside. The lane was there for him. We are inside 10 seconds to our start. We are coming up on 5. We are 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark, and man, that one's going to be close, but I think it was good. It was the Flavor Pack and Dustin Eccles who broke the clock. I think he's going to get down to the turn first, but he and Kelly are tied together. The start is under review. Who's going to come out first? It is Dustin Eccles in the Flavor Pack, but he has got J. Michael Kelly with him on the outside. He's got Jamie Nielsen on the inside. It is a legal start. It's a legal start, so everybody is good. Up the backstretch, you got 4 H-1 Unlimited hydroplanes, closely bunched, but look at Dustin Eccles. John Walters, he's really moving.
He definitely is, and Dustin put himself in a great position there to use that top end. He laid back just a little bit, hit the starting line with top end on everybody, got to the first turn first, and put himself in a position to control that first turn.
And here he comes down to put one in the book. You couldn't see him up the backstretch, but J. Michael Kelly driving the Beacon Electric. It's bright red. It's on the outside. He's only back by about 3, maybe 4 boat lengths. We are on lap number 2 of 3. The race is out front. It is Dustin Eccles in the Flavor Pack being chased by J. Michael Kelly in the Beacon Electric. Do not forget about Jamie Nielsen. Nielsen in the Legend Yacht Transport is in 3rd place. He's on an inside lane. Now Dustin Eccles got Kelly back by about 5 boat lengths. There's that straightaway speed, John. You talked about it.
Yeah, he's pulling everybody going down the back straightaway there again. He gets into the turn in a nice lane, very controlled, leaving room for Jamie to get through there without any conflict. He's just trying to come out wide as can, push J. Michael Kelly around the race course a little bit and use up some of that time. And you can see, they get very close coming off the exit pin.
Yeah, and when he's pushing J. Michael Kelly out like that, what he's doing is leaving the door wide open for Jamie Nielsen to pick up ground and save ground on that inside lane. Kelly's driving an awfully big race course. It is Dustin Eccles off the lower end of the race course. He is in first place, but now you see Jamie Nielsen has moved up alongside J. Michael Kelly. They are going to be dead even as they come off the bottom end of the race course, and it's that big course, John, that J. Michael Kelly's having to drive that's opening the door for Jamie Nielsen.
It's a long ways around for J. Michael Kelly as he's on the outside down there, and you can see Dustin's got a little top end on. Everybody gets down there first. Now, when J. Michael has such a big area to make up the difference there, Jamie running on that inside lane's got a much shorter distance, so they come off the exit pin dead even.
checkered flag flies for Dustin Eccles in the Flavor Pack, and now it's going to be J. Michael Kelly in the Beacon Electric, holding off a hard-charging Jamie Nielsen in the Legend Yacht Transport, presented by the Old Cannery Furniture Warehouse. 1, 2, 3. They come across the start-finish line. Gunnar O'Farrell, our rookie, will come home and pick up 4th place. Points of the U60 The Beast Unleashed presents Miss Thriftway. We promised some good side-by-side racing. We had it. And you've been talking about it all weekend. That 40's got some top-end speed. He got it wound up that time, and he just slowly moved away from the field.
Yeah, he absolutely did. Dustin did a great job of making a start there, and you could see when he went down the back straightaway, he was in a position to go a little wide and a little deep down there by the floating bridge. So when he turned around and started heading south, he had a head of steam on everybody. He probably had 10 miles an hour on the pack by the time they got to
Goodman Real Estate and Andrew Tate. There would be no incident there. 2 minutes and 35 seconds to the start. Here comes the rookie Bobby King across start-finish line. He did a great job yesterday of getting an inside lane. We'll see how it plays out this time, but right now, watch where Andrew Tate's going. He is going to go on the outside of Dylan Runny. Very, very interesting. He jumped to the outside of the powder blue and white boat. It looks now like maybe he has found his way back inside, John, but that we were watching on the monitor here from the drone. That was an interesting maneuver by Andrew.
It was an interesting maneuver by Andrew, and yesterday Andrew came from the infield to the backside there and got real close with JMK, and they had a little discussion about that last night. This morning, you can see that as they get ready to come up the back straightaway here, Dylan needs to win this heat. He's not got the points that he'd really like to have at this point in time, so he's going to lead everybody around there and try to take charge of this thing, make a good start here and lead everybody to the first turn.
Yeah, and I said it looked like Andrew Tate had maybe come back to the inside. He has not. Dylan Runny right now coming down the front straightaway. He is sitting in lane number 1. Behind him and now in lane 2, just to his outside, albeit behind him by quite a ways, is Andrew Tate and the Goodman Real Estate, the U91. Then lane 3 is slotted Corey Peabody. Nobody has beaten Mr. Peabody in a heat that he has finished. And then on the outside right now is Bobby King in the Graham Trucking, coming up on 5 seconds to the 1 minute mark. The boats have to declare the lane they are going to race in. They do that by the lane they are in when they get to the entrance pin of the floating bridge turn. That's the lane they have to bring to the start-finish line. Then standard overlap rules apply. So we could see a lane change now, but we're getting late in the game. I don't see anything happening. If Dylan Runny, who's way out in front, John, he's got to watch that 80-mile-an-hour rule.
He does. That was a problem that he had yesterday, and he's kind of setting him up for the same sort of thing this time. I really think Corey's in the best position right here. He's back behind everybody. Dylan's trying to get up there to assure that he gets that inside lane, but yesterday when he did that, he was able to get up there in the inside lane, but he was a little bit early, and when he had to back off, the other guys came around with boat speed on him, led him to the first turn, and he ended up finishing back in the pack.
Yeah, the 2 boats from Madison are leading the field up here. The home street's going to come off the corner first, then it's going to be Andrew in lane number 2. Corey's behind the field right now as they come off the top end of the race course. We are inside 10 seconds. We're inside 5 seconds. We are 4, 2, 1. Mark, and we are racing, and Corey Peabody is back at the start. It is the 2 Madison boats. It is the Goodman Real Estate on the outside, Dylan Runny on the inside, and the home street that are out in front and by a large margin. Coming off the corner, it is a legal start. Everybody is legal. Dylan Runny in the home street's got the lead over teammate Andrew Tate in the Goodman Real Estate. Keep an eye on that white boat in 3rd place. It is Corey Peabody. Nobody has beaten him this year. But right now he trails the 2 boats from Madison, Indiana. John Walters, can he make up that much ground?
He's got a lot of ground to make up, and Andrew's pushing real hard on the outside there as they come down the outside. He's actually kind of protecting the boat on the inside of him because Corey's got to get around the first one first, which is going to be Andrew. So he's got a long ways to go. This is a big race course, big wide turns. It's tough to make up any ground here. Dylan's in a perfect spot right there on the inside lane. Good lead going into the first turn. The water's a little bit rough. You can see the kind of the sawtooth in the skid fin water there as it's hooking and unhooking as he comes off the exit pin and with the lead.
And I mentioned those two boats are from Madison, Indiana, but do not expect Andrew Tate to just sit back there in second place. If he's got a shot at getting around Dylan Runny, trust me, he will take it. Andrew Tate is a racer, and he is closing on Dylan Runny at the top end of the race course. There's Runny, there's Tate, lane 1, lane 2. We're going to come down and put 2 in the book. They are going to be side by side. Andrew really hung to 91. He's got a lot of air underneath it. He had to pull his foot. We start lap number 3. It's a 2-boat length advantage for Dylan Runny at the bottom end of the race course. Now this corner could really help decide our Heat 3B here. It is Runny on the inside. It is Tate on the outside. Andrew's going to try and get around him. He's only back by a half a boat length. They are dead even out of the corner. John, it doesn't get any better than that.
It absolutely doesn't. They're dead even. Andrew's got a little boat speed on him here on the top end. He's pulled out about a boat length on him. He's going to control the second turn now as he gets in there. He's going to try to hold Dylan as tight to the buoy line as he can, get him to pull his foot a little bit, bleed off some boat speed, and hopefully that he can, out accelerate him coming off the turn here and get to the finish line first.
They have been racing against each other since they were 9 years old. Oh my goodness, this is gonna be close. It is Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate, oh my goodness, it's a good thing they painted that boat last week. I think he got him by a coat of paint. Oh my goodness, that was close.
Wow, what a race, what a race.
And we said it on lap number 2. I said, don't expect him just because, quote unquote, they're teammates, to expect Andrew Tate to let him have that win. It's just not going to happen. It's not in the DNA of Andrew Tate. And he was actually asked about that before the season started. And he said, yeah, we're teammates. He said, but I don't like that word. He goes, Dylan wears powder blue and I wear gold and white. And when we get on the water, I want to win. Holy cow, that was some kind of fun. And John, I can't say it anymore. The Corey P. gamesmanship that gets played during the milling period as these guys jockey for position, reminding our fans that are watching on the shoreline and online on the H1 Unlimited YouTube channel, lanes are not assigned when you come out of the pit area. That's what this milling period is all about. Now 1:45 until the start. John, you've been talking about the fact you want to be down here at this lower corner at the apex at about the 1 minute mark. They've got 34 seconds to make that happen.
Yeah, Jamie's in good shape here right now. He's just, on a plane above 80 miles per hour, going to cruise right down there. Corey's in good shape, too. He's a little bit farther behind him. I think that, these two guys that are following up here, they're watching their watches as well. They've got, spotters that are talking to them. They've got people up there looking at the GPS. They've got a lot of help to be where they need to be at the right place, the right time on this race course. So I like to be right about the apex of the turn when the 1 minute gun goes off. That gives me some options.
And they are just about there. 2 seconds, 1 mark. White flag on the race course. That means we are inside 1 minute. Now, coming off the bottom end of the race course, Jamie Nielsen in the U11 Legend Yacht Transport's going to sit in lane number 1. Corey Peabody behind him. He is going to be in 2. Then it's going to be Andrew Tate and the Goodman Real Estate in 3. On the outside, going to be Bobby King in the U12, the Graham Trucking. Inside 40 seconds. 40 seconds to the start. John, take him up to the top end of the race course.
Well, I like lane 2 right here. That gives you the most options in and out. And Andrew's already proven he can drive around guys on the outside. As they start to accelerate up to the floating bridge there, Corey's in good shape, and he's going a little slower because he's got a shorter distance to go. Jamie's still holding down that inside lane as they come around, and Bobby King coming up hard on the outside. So they come off this turn here. They're going to want to be about 12 seconds from the starting line, and they get off to the power right now, and the guys on the radio are telling them, go, 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 it's green. Bobby's on the outside. He's just a little bit ahead. He had to back off just a bit there, and everybody else is pushing really hard. So we may have a gun jumper here. We're going to have to take a look at that, and it's going to be under review, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think Bobby King may have got along across that line a little bit too early. The start is under review, but we'll call them the way they are on the water. And right now, the way they are is Jamie Nielsen is going to come out of that corner first. Nielsen is out first, but there is Tate on the outside. There's Corey in between them. 1, 2, 3. You've got a good boat race up the back chute. And now Andrew Tate, Corey Peabody begin to separate themselves a little bit from third place, and that being Jamie Nielsen in the U11. Top end of the race course. It is Tate on the outside. It is Corey on the inside, off the exit pin, side by side, gonna come down and put one in the book. Yes, Bobby King in the 12 did jump the gun, but our leaders are legal, and it's Peabody by 2.5 boat lengths on Tate as they cross the line at the completion of lap number 1, but Andrew is not gonna go away. Down to the lower end of the race course on the second and 3 times around. What do we got coming off the corner? Corey Peabody, but Andrew right there with him. Ooh, this is as good as it gets. Here we go again, John Walters, and Andrew Tate is really showing me something on the outside as he's hanging with Corey, John.
Yeah, he absolutely is, and actually Andrew's in control right here. He's got, you know, just a little bit of a lead. When he gets down there, he's going to be able to determine the lane that that Corey's able to run in, because he won't let him drift outside. Now Corey's got a great lane, and he's inside there, and he's moving out from the buoy line a little bit to give himself some room. But these guys are after each other, and they're going hard, side by side.
Coming down to put 2 in the book with 1 to go. And if you could pick a leader, you're better than I am. Down to the low, and Tate is really flying the boat. Picked up the right side sponson, but he got it back down in the water before they got to the turn. That's what he's got to do. Corey on the inside. Where is Andrew? Where is he? He's right there with him. He's back about a boat length and a half. See if Andrew Tate can make one last run up the backstretch at Corey Peabody. Peabody, our national high points leader. Andrew Tate, our top qualifier. These are tall, and there goes Andrew. Andrew is pulled up alongside and taking the lead at the top end. Got a boat length. This is going to decide it. Going to try and hold him in tight. He does. Everybody hang on. Here we go. This is for the checkered flag. Corey in 1. Going to be Tater on the outside. And Tater is going to finish in second place, 2 boat lengths behind Corey Peabody. Oh my goodness. We've got a good race off the top end of the race course between J.B. Nielsen and Bobby King, but Bobby King jumped the start. He will have an extra lap to go. Oh my gosh, John. Wow. It's too much fun.
It is too much fun, and that was really exciting. You know, as they came down this front straightaway, there's very little wind right now on Lake Washington, but what wind there is was right in their face when they were coming down, and you could see that Andrew was flying that boat, trying to get every ounce of speed out of it that he could get, and he got it pretty high several times, scary high, honestly, and I'm glad that he was able to lay it back down, and the boat was, you know, running really well on the outside lane there. He had farther to go. It'll be interesting to take a look at the lap times. I wouldn't be at all surprised to find out that what Andrew had faster lap times, but had more distance.
Wow. I'm glad you were talking. I was catching my breath.
I was about to flag somebody over to give you some CPR here, so I can't do this by myself.
We got to just keep this rolling. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are new to unlimited hydroplane racing and that didn't get your blood pumping, maybe there's another event going on this weekend that you need to go to, because that's as good as it gets. That absolutely is as good as it gets in H1 Unlimited Racing. I promised the fans good, close, side-by-side, deck-to-deck racing. They're making you and I look really, really smart, John.
They are, and the other thing that they're doing is they're making this look easy, and I want to tell you from the driver's point of view, from a crew chief's point of view, it absolutely is not easy. What you saw out there is incredible. The fact that those 2 boats could go that hard with each other, that fast, you know, with each other, completely in control, at times maybe on the edge of being completely in control or even in control at all. But that was amazing, absolutely amazing. And these drivers, these boats are so good, they make it look easy, and I promise you it is not. They are indeed, everybody.
Washington so far, everybody's been very well behaved. J. Michael Kelly came out of the pit area, stuffed himself in lane number 1, and he's been there ever since. Nobody's made a move. And I honestly, John Walters, at 145 at the top end of the race course, I don't think we're going to see anybody make a move.
I don't think so either. I think they've pretty well established where they wants to be. J. Michael thinks he needs to be on the inside lane here in order to win this thing. I think Dustin out there in lane 3 thinks he's got enough top end to get to the first turn first and be able to control that turn when he gets there. With Gunner out here on the outside, he's not going to be able to get there in time to mix it up being on the outside lane. So I think it's going to be a real tough one. Dylan's obviously got his work cut out for him here as he's cruising up there in between, trying to, you know, make enough room for himself, get there quick enough, and they're just about right on time. We want to be at about the apex when the 1 minute gun goes off, and they're right there.
They're right where they want to be. Gunner is a little bit early, but he will be way on the outside. He can scruff off time as he goes up the back chute. chute. Once again, the U1, the Miss Home Street, the U8, the Beacon Electric, the Flavor Pack, U40, and the 60. Beast Unleashed presents Miss Thriftway. Runny, Kelly, Eccles, O'Farrell. Up the backstretch, J. Michael Kelly sitting in lane number 1. Dylan Runny, the rookie out of Rumson, New Jersey, sitting in lane number 2. Then it is Dustin Eccles in the yellow and blue Flavor Pack. Coming up on 25 seconds. I like where they are on the race course. An unofficial mark I have is about 20 seconds at that entrance pin. They got there right at 20. Now the boats have fanned out. There's a lot of lane space between them. Gunnar O'Farrell's going to be on the far outside. It's going to be Dylan Runny in lane number 2. Kelly's going to be in 1. Runny's in 2. Going to be Dustin Eccles on lane 3. The outside, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1. Mark, it appears to be clean from here. And John Walters, you wanted to get Dustin Eccles down to the lower corner first. I think he got down there first. It is a legal start. Can he get the boat around the corner? J. Michael Kelly on the inside's got the lead coming off the pin, but he has got company with him. Runny's with him, and so is Dustin Eccles. We've got 3 boats sharing the same rooster tail, John.
Yeah, they look really good. It's hard to tell one from the other right now. Thank goodness for those drones up there. We can actually see what's going on. But J. Michael's leading everybody down the back straightaway. He's running downwind right now, and I think by the time you get to the apex, you're going to see these guys getting on the foot pedals, trying to calm them down. Dustin's coming up hard on the outside, and when they come down the straightaway, they're going to have a pretty good breeze right in their face. These guys are going to be driving these boats with their feet, and their feet are on those wings.
Boy, oh boy! Dustin Eccles hung the 40 for a long time. You mentioned the wind, John. Sorry to trample you, but I know you weren't looking at him, and he was just hanging it there on the front chute. Kelly down to the lower end of the race course, lap number 2. And Runny's going to come on. He's given ground on the outside. And boy, that we saw what happened there when he had to pull your foot. I'm sorry there a little bit, but Dustin Eccles having to pull his foot, that cost him a second place position. And now it is Dylan Runny trying to run down J. Michael Kelly on the outside.
Yeah, it absolutely does. And Justin is trying to make up ground here on that top end, and unfortunately he can't use the top end right now, especially coming down this straightaway with this wind in his face. And like I mentioned earlier there, when they got themselves in trouble, these guys are going to be driving the boats down this front straightaway with the front wing, and their feet are doing that. So they're hanging on to the steering wheel, and Dustin's coming off hard about halfway down, just about to the start-finish line here. He's got so much ground to make up, I don't think there's a chance that he can catch up with the boys.
Now it's interesting now to see if Dylan Runny can make up ground on J. Michael Kelly. Kelly's going to come off the turn with the lead. He's got about 5-6 boat lengths. I'm not sure Dylan Runny can run him down. I know J. Michael Kelly's looking in that right side rear view mirror. He's got radio guys in his ears telling him right where Dylan Runny is, and it is almost a full rooster tail for JMK, but Runny doesn't want to go away, and he's willing to take a shot at J. Michael Kelly on this, the third of 3 times around the race course. Kelly took a hop up there at the top end of the race course, but he's able to settle it down, come off the pin clean. The checkered flag flies. J. Michael Kelly, driving a Beacon Electric, is going to come down and pick up an apparent 400 first place points. Good run for Dylan Runny in the U1, the Miss Home Street. He will come across in second place, looking for Dustin Eccles. Here he comes. He will come down and pick up third place points in the Flavor Pack.
The new Subway MVP Rewards earns you points for every order.
Join now and get a free cookie when you buy a sub.
Whoa, the new iPhone 15. With that amazing camera, I wish my family had them. Zoe?
5 minutes to the start of our APBA Gold Cup final heat. It's the Home Street Bank Cup, the APBA Gold Cup at Seafair. The first boat away from the dock is going to be Jamie Nielsen. He's going to come out in the Legend Yacht Transport presented by the Old Cannery Furniture Warehouse. Jamie Nielsen away from the dock. It is Chartreuse. It is Royal Blue. And he's going to have the rest of the field right behind him. Ladies and gentlemen, we are inside 5 minutes.
2 is really the preferable lane.
Well, and at the top end of the race course, Dylan Runny went way wide, and J. Michael Kelly actually moved to the inside. But now it appears Runny has tightened it up a little bit, and JMK has let him go in there, and Kelly has moved back to the outside in lane number 2. Andrew Tate finds himself right now sitting in lane number 3. Then it is the Beacon Plumbing Corey Peabody in 4, Jamie Nielsen in 5. Dustin Eccles is on the far outside. I like where they are, although maybe Kelly and Runny might be a little bit early. John Walters, you want to be at that apex at the 1 minute mark. We're not yet to 1:10, although we're there now.
Yeah, you sure do, and Dylan's working real hard to try to get the inside lane here. And the way they've run this weekend, I think they need the inside lane to be competitive here. J. Michael Kelly has got enough boat speed, enough experience that I think he can get a little deeper run at it, and he can win from lane 2. But the one I think you really need to keep your eye on there is in lane number 3, and that's Andrew Tate. Andrew's boat is accelerating extremely well. He's able to fly that thing into the wind here better than most people would give you even credit that is even possible to do. And he's managed to not only fly the boat but keep his foot on the throttle at the same time and not really give up any speed there. Where the other boats have gotten badly out of shape, they've had to back off the throttle and they lose a lot of time there.
I think we got a couple of boats up there early, and certainly Dylan Runny is one of them. I think Kelly might be a little bit early. We're at 20 seconds right now, and they're already coming off the top end of the race course. I think Runny's going to have that inside lane, but he may have overpaid for it. Then it's going to be Kelly in 2, going to be Tate in 3, Peabody in 4. It's going to be Eccles on the outside. Nielsen's going to be in 5. We are 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark and Andrew Tate did not break the clock. Dylan Runny did, but it was Tate with the boat speed from lane number 3 or 4, and then on the outside it was Dustin Eccles who's going to turn left first, come out of there. It is Andrew Tate. He comes off the corner first, but he's got J. Michael Kelly right with him. Kelly hooked just a little bit as he got to the exit pin of the corner, and Andrew Tate was able to open up a little bit on him. Now Kelly's got the boat straightened back up, and here comes J. Michael Kelly. The start is legal. They are really rolling hard. Somewhere in that mess, and it's back in about 4th place, is Corey Peabody to the exit pin at the top end of the race course. On the outside, coming from lane number 3, it is Andrew Tate in the 91, the Goodman Real Estate. Look at the flavor pack on the outside with Dustin Eccles as he flies it across start-finish line. Remember, fans, we go 5 times around. Corey Peabody is definitely back as Dustin Eccles flew the flavor pack as they got down to the lower end of the race course. Oh, have we got one hooking up here? Good. It is Andrew Tate on the outside. He's got about 3 boat lengths on J. Michael Kelly. This is turning into a very good 2-boat run, John Walters. But right now, Andrew Tate starting to open up a little bit of water on J. Michael Kelly.
Andrew's really in the perfect spot position here. He's got room on the outside to drift out a little bit if he needs to. He's really trying to hold that number 2 lane and not give J. Michael Kelly any more room than he absolutely has to there. They come off the exit pin pretty close because J. Michael had a shorter distance, but Andrew's got top end on him here, and he tends to pull away a little bit more. He's in perfect shape. The boat is one run, but J. Michael Kelly's pulling real hard on the inside there. They're going to be side by side when they get to the entrance pin.
Yeah, they're down at the entrance pin of the corner right now. We start lap number 3, and they are literally dead even. They are dead even. Now it's Kelly that you see first coming off the exit pin. Right with him is Andrew Tate. J. Michael Kelly comes off the pin. You can see Tate. He's right on the outside. We expected a barn burner. This is a beauty. We've got a great race running for 2nd place. Dustin Eccles in the flavor pack is on the outside of Corey Peabody in the U9 to Beacon Plumbing. But the race is out front, and Kelly just opened up some water on Tate. Not much, but he's got about 2 or 3 boat lengths. Exit pin off the top end of the race course. The Gold Cup is on the line. The National High Points Championship is on the line. And Kelly has opened up a little bit of water. They'll put 3 in the books with 2 more to go. It is J. Michael Kelly and the Beacon Electric Johnny's opened up water.
He has, and Andrew's really fighting with the wind at this point in time. He's really trying to work hard to keep that boat settled down. In the meantime, J. Michael is out front and pushing hard. He's actually stretching the lead a little bit. He's picking up a little bit of room every straightaway here. They kind of hold even with each other going through the turns, but with all that water in the air, it's hard to see exactly what's going on with Andrew over there, but he's losing ground.
He is losing a little bit of ground now to the top end of the race course. The race for third place has kind of been settled. It is now Corey Peabody in third position, but our race is at the top end of the race course. J. Michael Kelly will come down at complete lap number 4. He'll get a white flag with 1 to go, and he is opening water still on Andrew Tate. He's got more than a rooster tail. J. Michael Kelly, this could be the race of his career. He's won a Gold Cup before. He has never won the Drivers' National High Points Championship. Take that back. He's never won the team and the drivers at the same time. He would get them both right here if he can hold on for 3/4 of a lap. Up the backstretch, J. Michael Kelly off the turn, got a full rooster tail on Andrew Tate. Third place goes to teammate Corey Peabody driving a Beacon Plumbing, and then it is back to the Flavor Pack, and then Dylan running in the home street. Top end of the race course, John Walters, I'm going to bring him through the top end and bring him down. The checkered flag is hanging. J. Michael Kelly, this could be the biggest day of his career. He is off the turn. He can see the finish line. He picks up the front end, flies it a little bit. This is all his if he can finish it. Checkered flag, your Gold Cup winner, J. Michael Kelly in the Beacon Electric. Second place to Andrew Tate in the Goodman Real Estate, the U91. Then it is Corey Peabody. You hear the fans clapping here behind us on the tower. I think that is a popular win. J. Michael Kelly, holy cow, 4th place is going to go to Dustin Eccles in the U40, the Flavor Pack. Here come Dylan Runny. He will come down in the U1, the Miss Home Street. Oh my goodness, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 started, or 6 started, 5 have finished. Here comes Jamie Nielsen in the U11, the Legend Yacht Transport, presented by the Old Cannery Furniture Warehouse. My, oh my. John Walters, that was fun. Can we do this again?
Yeah, that was an amazing.
Our goal is to produce top quartile performance when it comes to our actively managed funds on the muni side, on the taxable fixed income side. A big part of our strategy has always been focused on discipline, risk control, but also that long-term approach to investing. Our goal is to produce top quartile performance when it comes to our actively managed funds on the muni side, on the taxable fixed income side. A big part of our strategy has always been focused on discipline, risk control, but also that long-term approach to investing.
Talk about sticker shock. Shopping for that shiny new appliance is expensive, but
their speed over the last day, you know, and just kind of knowing they have it dialed in, but not letting anybody know.
Cutting across the ESCO Electric infield will be Runny in the home street, and Goodman Real Estate boat with Andrew Tate.
Yeah, it's interesting to watch these guys run on the water together, because if you saw the preseason interview with Andrew Tate, they asked him about teammate Dylan Runny, and he's had nothing but good things to say about him and said they had raced together since they were kids, blah, blah, blah. But he really did not like the term teammate, and he made that pretty plain. He says, no, he wears powder blue, and I wear black and gold. And he made it pretty clear, once they go on the race course, all bets are off. He's going to go out and try and win, and Dylan Runny is just another competitor. Beacon Plumbing, the third boat through the corner down here. Check that Beacon Electric. Then it's the Beacon Plumbing with Corey Peabody. So the boats are spread out a little bit. Andrew Tate going up the backstretch with 250, sitting on the inside lane right now, but a lot can change.
It's kind of interesting the way Team Madison both went through the ESCO Electric infield together.
Does the 80-mile-an-hour rule hold for this 2023 Columbia Cup?
Yeah, there's a little change to it, Brad.
Yeah, there is, and it's kind of like what the rule has changed to be. It's that, you know, it's like fishing, and you throw a great big net out over the water. You're going to catch all kinds of things beyond just the fish you were trying to get. And that's not really what the 80-mile rule was intended to do. They're trying to catch a specific violation, and that's the one that yields a starting advantage to a team. So this gives the chief referee, Rick Sandstrom, the leeway to do that.
Gotcha. Boats coming out of the turn number 4 for Buffalo Brothers onto the front stretch. It'll be Tate in the Goodman Real Estate onto the front stretch first.
2 minutes.
Home
2 minutes.
Street, Dylan Runny second. Then the bright red Beacon Electric. And boy, really close to the Beacon Plumbing. J. Michael Kelly right next to his teammate there, Corey Peabody. Across the Mosteller start-finish line down to all doors, turn number 1. Anybody jumping across the ESCO infield?
I don't think they can, Mike. We're still 1:35.
How you doing there, teammate? Get away from me. Don't you know I don't like this? Get away from me now.
Well, those two are deck to deck.
I know.
Peabody and Kelly.
I didn't think they were
electric on the outside, plumbing on the inside.
They were supposed to be all pally, I thought.
It's kind of interesting, actually.
Andrew Tate's up and moving down here a little quicker than I thought. He got down here at 126, and you don't want to be down here at 130, so he was a little before that, and he gave it a little squirt. Right in front of AJ, you got all 4.
1 minute mark.
Goodman in 1. The Goodman Real Estate boat with Tate.
Both Beacon boats still right next to each other.
Yep, and it looks like they'll be in 3 and 4. You've got Runny in lane number 2. Peabody in 3, and Kelly in 4. As they head up the backstretch with 37 seconds.
Now we'll see if those scoring up, and in the testing and in the qualifying, if they're going to hit those marks. 30 seconds.
So, lane number 1, Andrew Tate in the 91, Goodman Real Estate. Lane number 2 will be Dylan Runny in the 1, Miss Home Street. Corey Peabody in the 9, Beacon Plumbing.
15.
In lane number 3, J. Michael Kelly in the Beacon Electric. The 8 in lane number 4 as they come
10
out of turn
7,
number 4.
6,
Buffalo Brothers
5,
on to the front stretch.
3, 2, 1, mark.
It is a clean start, and the speed is on the outside with J. Michael Kelly in the Beacon Electric heading down to turn number 1 for All Doors Incorporated. It is a legal start. It is a legal start.
Coming down here 4 wide. J. Michael Kelly really flying the U8, the Beacon Electric. He's got the lead on the outside, but he's got a lot of speed off to his left.
4 boats right next to each other. Looks like the number 1 has the lead right now with Beacon Plumbing and Corey Peabody in second as they come around turn number 2.
Yeah, it is. Nice run by Peabody in first place, heading up the backstretch. The home street with Runny in second place. It'll be a shorter course for Runny. The question is, what will happen with Tate on the inside? Can he catch up as they dive into White's Finished Furniture, turn number 3, and come around to Buffalo Brothers, turn number 4? The leader's going to be the home street at the exit pin with Dylan Runny. Way on the outside, falling back a little bit off the pace is J. Michael Kelly in the Beacon Electric. Here comes your race across start finish. Peabody on the outside, gaining on Runny in the home street on the inside.
It is Runny on the inside. It is Peabody on the outside. And they are side by side as they get to the entrance pit in the corner. They are dead even. Runny on the inside of Corey Peabody, AJ.
Looks like Peabody's got a slight edge, but then...
Ooh, they touched.
Oh, whoa.
They touched.
Look at that. Peabody a slight edge on the outside as they touch on the corner.
They did touch in Tire Factory turn number 2. Peabody's going to pull ahead. Runny's falling back about a half a rooster tail. Goodman's trying to gain on the inside of the 91. The Goodman Real Estate boat with Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate had a terrific turn 4 to stay just inside the buoy marker. He was lost in everybody's rooster tail, but don't count him out. The big G on the inside is still a playa.
Yeah, your race leader is Peabody in the Beacon Plumbing coming across start-finish line.
The U1 needs to run an extra lap.
So the home street needs to run an extra lap. We'll have more details on that. Also hearing the 9, Mike. Okay, more details coming up. Race leaders Peabody as they come into Tire Factory turn number 2.
The U9 and Peabody way out front, probably 3/4 of a rooster tail right now. Of course, the home street is back down a lap, and then coming in second place is the 8 teammate with the Beacon Electric and J. Michael Kelly.
Yeah, it looks like a parade right now with a rooster tail lead for each boat over the next behind them. In the lead is Peabody. Then you've got Runny. followed by J. Michael Kelly and Andrew Tate as they come to the top turns. White's Finished Furniture into Buffalo Brothers turn number 4 at the exit pin. The final lap, checkered flag is out. Peabody is going to take the checkered flag in the Beacon Plumbing. Second place on the race course is the one, Home Street with Dylan Runny. Third place, look at this, J. Michael Kelly, able to get around Andrew Tate in the Goodman Real Estate boat.
Well, that race had a little bit of everything.
Yes. And interesting to see what judges may do about lap number 2 and the boats that touched right over at Tire Factory turn number 2.
And the Home Street still going around turn 2.
Guys, you have said they touched. Who touched?
Oh, it was Peabody and Runny.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, we didn't know who had done that. So, but there's no precautionary extra lap for Corey Peabody. That is going to be
There is.
Well, he didn't take one.
No, it's going to be the one Runny with the extra lap.
Okay.
Mosteller start-finish line.
How does the best basketball player of all time make more money in his retirement?
I'm kind of pulling for the Piston Power. I got to be honest with you. I know I'm supposed to stay neutral, but I just want him to be competitive, stay in it, and have a good showing. I mean, the fans just absolutely love the Piston Power, the popularity, the populist.
So who's got the best position right now?
Oh, we've got a taker across the Esco Electric infield.
You know, everybody.
It's the Florida. It's the flavor pack. Dustin Eccles.
Yeah, and here goes Jamie Nielsen.
Well,
this is a legal maneuver where he's doing it. He has to cut on the Grand Prix race course. That is a legal maneuver. Who is in the best position right now? You can't tell because there's so many different variables and so many different things you can do, and a lot's going to change in the next 1:35. Is coming up right now. You don't want. I always say you don't want to be down at this end of the race course at 1:30.
Nielsen jumps across the Esco Electric infield to the front stretch.
Oh, I don't know what he's going to do. I mean, we got less than 1:30.
Oh, the Griggs boat continues around the top end of the course.
Oh, there's no way they're going to make it back in time.
Minute 20. Yeah, he can.
He's taking it really wide. He can speed up. He can get there.
Keep an eye on Dustin Eccles with 1:12 right in front of you, AJ. He
there
can
he is.
lane 1 and take it if he wants it.
Flavor Pack is in lane 1 right now.
Keep an eye on the piston boat. He may cut the race course down here. He's got to go around the GP course to do it.
Here comes Nielsen. He's flying, trying to catch up.
And I'm not sure.
Why is Jimmy going all the way down?
Yeah, he is, but he does this before. He'll keep the speed up and he keeps the RPM. He'll be there. Don't you worry. 35 seconds. Take him, Michael, up the back chute.
He's got his timing mark. He knows where he's at on the Columbia River in the Griggs boat with 39 seconds to the start of Heat 1B from Par Lumber. On the inside, you've got the flavor pack with Dustin Eccles. Nielsen in lane number 2.
30 seconds.
Bobby King in the Graham Trucking 12 is way on the outside, and he'll have to be behind the trailer boat as a rookie. Now you've got Jimmy King, who will pull up in lane number 3 in the Griggs Ace Hardware U3. They are up to the top end of the course and to Buffalo Brothers exit pin for turn number 4.
10.
Eccles, lane number 1. Nielsen in lane number 2. A hard charging, but way behind is the 3 with Jimmy King. He's way off the start.
Great start.
Ooh, that was really close for Jamie Nielsen. He's got the boat speed and the lead in Par Lumber Heat 1B. Heading down to turn number 1 for All Doors Incorporated. It is a legal start.
AJ coming right to you. Jamie Nielsen on the outside.
Jamie Nielsen in the U11, bouncing a little bit. Ooh, just kind of popped over. Looks like that Eccles managed to catch up a little bit on corner number 2.
Tire Factory turn number 2. Eccles made a move in the flavor pack. It didn't sound right from the get-go, and I think that's maybe why Jimmy King moved way outside in the milling period. So the race leaders are at the top end of the course in a White's Finished Furniture and Hardwoods turn number 3. On the inside, Eccles in the 40 flavor pack trying to catch up with Nielsen in lane number 2. A really nice turn by Nielsen. And look at the Legend Yacht Transport 11 come down the front stretch for the completion of lap number 1. He's flying it out of the water. Trying to catch up on the inside. Can Dustin Eccles make a move in lap number 2? He gets to All Doors Incorporated turn number 1.
Legend Yacht Transport presented by the Trust Company. Jamie Nielsen's going to get down here first, but Flavor Pack has got the lead position on the inside. He's
U11 coming around the corner in first place. Nielsen looking great. Eccles still about 3/4 of a Rooster Tail behind, but trying to get up there, trying to catch up.
Yeah, that flavor pack seemed to lose more speed than Eccles did on the outside. So that inside lane can get awfully lumpy.
And when he nailed that start, all he did was continue to push, but he cannot shake the competition fully just yet.
Watch Eccles. He's been gaining on the Griggs backstretch as they go to the White's Furniture. Turn number 3 to Buffalo Brothers. Turn number 4. It's still Nielsen out in front, and that water is a little bit bumpy. Oh, major adjustment just to get around the exit pit of the Buffalo Brothers. Turn number 4 for the flavor pack boat. Nielsen with over a Rooster Tail lead now at the completion of lap number 2. Heading down the front stretch to Aldors Incorporated, turn number 1.
Yeah, Dustin Eccles just moved to the outside. Jamie Nielsen was just pinning Dustin Eccles on that inside lane. He couldn't do anything, and now he's got almost 2 Rooster Tails. Nielsen right to AJ.
Nielsen in first by almost 2 Rooster Tails, looking amazing. He's going to definitely, as long as nothing happens, looks like he's sailing. Then we got, of course, Eccles screaming by in second, and then third place, Bobby King coming in as the trail boat.
Yeah, that's going to be big points today, Dave, for the third place.
Absolutely, with the points.
So back up to the top end of the course, off of the Griggs backstretch into the White's Finish Furniture and Hardwoods, turn number 3. Jamie Nielsen on the 2.5-mile super speedway. Into Buffalo Brothers, turn number 4. Holding the buoy line pretty close as he gets to the exit pin onto the front stretch. The checkered flag is out. And your winner for Heat 1B, Par Lumber, Jamie Nielsen.
you